Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hope you're all having a fine whatever it is wherever you are. I know some people have already asked what time is it for me. It is just about 3 a.m. You don't call Cool Kid at 3 a.m. gone wrong, gone sexual. Good morning, everyone. At 3 a.m. is crazy. So I kind of mentioned this like in passing in the comments of the most recent video. I got sick right before the old piece came out, and it like massively fucked up my already bad sleep schedule. I'm still recovering, so if my voice still sounds weird, that's probably why. But I've been struggling to sleep for more than like an hour at a time, so I've been all over the place. I'll put it that way. But imagine being up at 3 a.m. That's true, Rosie. That couldn't be me. That would never be me. Also, Nitro is here. We'll go ahead and we'll take his muzzle off so we can speak. Let me go ahead and get my audio set up as well. Yeah, I will say that like at this point, I do expect, considering the like backlash. Also, this live reaction was made by me because I thought this really close-up shot was really funny. Anyways. But I know that they're probably going to nerf the Tektolyst grind at some point, because it's one of, like, the biggest problems with the update for a lot of people. Damn. Also, what's your old piece soundtrack? Honestly, it's probably Ironclad, the theme that plays when you fight a boss. Backlash. There's been a lot of discussion around the Tauron strikes, and one of the biggest hang-ups is how long it takes for them to grind. And honestly, I do think that, like, that point, I think, is totally warranted. The grind for them is ridiculous. I also do want to say that, in regards to the strikes, like, I've been trying to hold off on my opinion on them, because I have 2 more to unlock. I've unlocked and maxed out 3 of them. I have them for Naramon, Vazarin, and Zeneric. But I'm kind of struggling because, like, information about them is scarce. We don't have a ton of detail about them yet, and because for some reason, the actual descriptions of these things don't explain jack shit to you. Like, for example, I complained about this last time at Zeneric. Like, spectral pages here, right? Grants additional cast speed, ability strength, duration, and bonus energy per page. It doesn't tell you how much of anything other than the energy it grants you. And apparently, according to the wiki at least, this is not explained in-game at all. Whenever you cast an ability, a page will light up, and that page will provide its buff for the next 100 energy of casting, and then once it's consumed, it will go to your teammates. But all it does for your teammates is give them the bonus energy, not the other stat buffs. This is not explained at all. Even beyond that, though, the community has done some testing and found some interesting things about the Tauron strikes. So, when it comes to charging the Tauron strikes, using a focus orb is basically mandatory. From the testing that the community has done, it takes approximately 4,000 kills to charge one without a focus orb buff. With a focus orb buff, it's like 150, and on top of that, focus orbs give you 20% of your charge instantly. But they take a while to charge unless you're, like, going after focus orbs and using the, like, mods and arcanes that increase charge rate and things like that. But, like, out of the box, my FPS gets so much worse on Frito when I'm streaming. But, yeah, out of the box, it's not looking too great. It's the same, like, I feel like in the Purita Rebellion, it's not as bad because completing objectives also gives you, like, 1/3 of your charge. But my other, like, major issue, really, like, aside from the grind, my major issues with the Tauron strike system, personally, just from what I've played so far, is, I also just realized, are my stream settings messed up? Hold up. I have to check something real quick. YouTube might have done a funny to me. Okay, no. I wanted to make sure that they didn't have an issue. Anyways, but my major issues with it so far, personally, are, 1, I think it charges too slow. 2, the animations take way too long. They take, I think I calculated on average, like 6 seconds for the ones I have, just for them to start doing something. And then, 3, I think all of them are just kind of weak. I am getting stuck because I'm looking at my chat. But, like, of the ones that I have, I've honestly thought that the Vazarin one is probably my favorite. And even then, I still don't feel like it really does a ton for me a lot of the time. I think that, like, if you got them more frequently, they probably don't need any kind of buff. But I think that, if we're not going to increase the charge rate, then they should be more powerful. Because that's kind of my current thought process with it. Is if it's going to take this long, then it should be stronger. Or if we speed it up, then it's probably fine. I also feel like there's like an information problem that needs to be addressed, right? That's also a kind of a major thing for me, is that I feel like if... like when it comes to understanding what your strike actually does, it's a little bit difficult at the moment. Yeah, I do like the Vazarin staff. It deals a decent amount of damage on cast, and then enemies that are standing within its radius share damage and become more status vulnerable. They also lose Overguard, I believe. And then if you're a player in the radius, you get a massive HP buff and you'll get revived, which I think is quite good, all things considered. It's not like a crazy buff, especially for how long it takes to activate a lot of the time, but it's by no means bad. Why is the cathode over there? At all levels. Yeah, the damage of them, I imagine, probably falls off. But, like, I feel like I've been enjoying the Vazarin one a lot more because the fact that it lingers means that, like, I feel the effects for much longer. Like, fully upgraded, it lasts for 40 seconds, which is a decent amount of time for it to stick around, versus the other ones, where, you know, they're, like, the other two I have, I guess. The swords for Naramon disappear really quickly, I feel like. And then Xenaric's pages, like I said, I didn't even understand how they worked until recently because the game doesn't tell you at all. And I don't even know if the wiki's testing is accurate. Lorac is the only one that I think even has a wiki page right now, and basically every section just says requires further testing because people just don't know yet. They haven't figured this out. It's a flashy side piece. At this point, I think that's kind of the unfortunate reality, honestly, is that, yeah, the strikes themselves aren't super strong. Like I said, if we were to speed up your ability to cast them, both in terms of frequency and like the actual speed of the animation, I think they would be considerably better. Just like you don't have to buff them in power at that point, so much as just making them feel more usable. Because it's especially when it comes to like the ones you actually have to aim, right? So like you can't move the Matarai arrow, but it's specifically Vexoric and Lorac on Naramon and Xenaric. Specifically those two, because your camera does all this like flashy shit, by the time you're actually looking at your target again, normally they've moved, and it's really irritating. Because it's like, okay, well I was gonna kill this guy, but now I don't even know where he is, and I have like a half a second to reacquire my target and shoot him. Which is huge. Yeah, and I will say that I think that the operator modding thing is a big element of it, but also at the same time, like, the Tauron strikes I don't feel like should... How do I put this? I feel like for such a big point of the update, they should be useful, if that makes sense. Or at least, it should feel like if you're going to spend 5 to 6 hours grinding one Tektolyst artifact out, it should feel like it was worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All angles of numbers possible. I honestly do think that there's still potential for them to be very strong, like the Vazarin one. My only real complaint with it, other than the general, just like it doesn't feel like it charges super fast, is I wish the radius was bigger, because it's not huge. But otherwise, like, its effects do feel genuinely beneficial. You get a shit ton of healing while you're in its radius. Like I said, allies get revived, enemies become more vulnerable to damage, they lose their overguard, stuff like that. But I think that, like, part of why I feel like I like the Vazarin one so much relative to the others is because I feel like the lingering element of it is actually really good. Because, like I said, like with Naramon and Xenarich, I feel like I cast it, and then the lingering effect it leaves me with doesn't feel like it's anything crazy. So recharge in 1.5 to 2 minutes. I personally think what they should do is one or the other. Is barely active. Yeah, the swords on Naramon disappear in like 20 seconds. I don't know why it lasts for such a short amount of time. Like, I've been playing a lot of Purita Rebellion, so it hasn't affected me as much because you get your charges super fast, but probably tweaked heavily. It kind of does something similar already, where it spawns the pages that will zap nearby enemies and blind them. I feel like that's a fine effect, especially because of the fact that, like, the pages give you ability stat buffs. But again, the game doesn't tell you how the pages work almost at all. It's like, seriously, why? That's kind of how I feel as well. Like, they're not that good for how long it takes for them to charge in normal content. If you're going to have to get, you know, like, if you're going to have to wait 10 minutes to use a Tauron strike, and it doesn't really do much for you, then I kind of just question the value in investing in it. Like, honestly, I think that for a lot of players, the strat will unironically be to unlock it, use it to mod your focus school, and then never even bother upgrading it. Because a lot of the ones, they're just not worth it. It's another huge time sink. It takes like 5.5 million focus, which, for reference, unlocking an entire focus school, I believe, is roughly 10 million. 10.5 million? So upgrading your Tauron strike all the way to max is about half of the cost of upgrading your entire focus school up to that point. On top of the fact that you need more resources from these missions to accomplish it. So it's like, I don't know, it's a lot of investment for not a ton of reward at the moment. That's just my initial impression. It's just slow to charge. Listen, I feel like the idea of them being this really powerful but somewhat infrequent thing absolutely could work. It's just that they're not powerful enough for how infrequent they are. And I don't really know, like, between the two routes they could take, I would personally give some of them a few minor buffs, improve their descriptions to actually explain how they work, and then I would mostly speed up the charge. Because I think that with Warframe, we have such a high power ceiling that making them strong enough to justify their cooldown currently just isn't possible, honestly. Because we're already so strong that, like, you don't really need anything to be on that long of a cooldown. It's just not really valuable. So I feel like if they were to make it so that they just charged considerably faster, then that would be the main route, in my opinion. On top of, like, the clarity and a few other minor things. Any focus school? I personally think it's fine that they're focus school specific, but that's just me. We can make gacha games for. Yeah, all the cinematic flair. This is the type of shit that Genshin Impact has done to the gaming community. I hate that objective so much, by the way. It's so fucking slow. It's funny, I mentioned this to Nitro before I started streaming, but yeah, my efficiency whenever I stream this stuff goes way down. Oh wow, one of them actually dropped a code next to the fucking objective for once. Holy shit. Charge faster other than focus orbs. I honestly feel like, for me, I just buff the base charge rate. I feel like the focus orbs, like, I've seen a lot of people say that they think the focus orb shouldn't be an element of the charge. I actually personally think it's fine. Like, I think that it's fine to have the focus orbs be part of the gameplay loop of it. I think that the problem is just that you're totally reliant on them. And even with them, it's still pretty slow. What is this pull? Oh, I forgot I still had that open. I just did that because I was bored before the stream started. Hold on, I gotta close out the pull real quick. Anyways. Yeah, my bad. I forgot about that. Anyhow, I don't think I'm gonna... Like, it depends entirely on the objectives I get if I'm gonna be able to get to the third, like, special rotation. Because for those who don't know, the rotations... Oh yeah, I'm fucked. The rotations in this work in kind of a weird way. Every single mission that you complete, every objective you complete, gives you one of the currency from one rotation. Every 3 objectives, you get an unidentified item from another rotation. And then when you beat the boss, you get an item from a final rotation. I also just realized, I'm pretty sure I got the longest route that this fucking guy could travel. Yeah, I'm actually just fucked. There is no way I am doing this fast enough. Okay, there better be a mine somewhere. Rather, I imagine there would be. Welcome, welcome. On daily cap, did they change that? Yeah, so they changed that. Now, if you're at the daily cap, they'll still spawn, but they'll be blue, and you'll get a prompt or like a notification saying, hey, you're at your focus cap already, but this is still going to boost your tower on strike charge rate. I hate the way you talk, and I want to harass you for it. You know, I respect the hating, honestly.
I don't shut the fuck up.
8 Order Soul is pretty nuts. My best so far has been 13. Oh yeah, I physically cannot do this fast enough because it takes each one 12 seconds. I do feel like whether or not you can get a high order count in this mode is like somewhat RNG dependent, to be honest. I don't even know why I'm bothering. More about you than a hater? True. I don't think I'm gonna get the Volt either because he spawned in so late. Yeah, damn. Occasional metal flower. I imagine that they're going to put a lot of like effort into making them look more different if we're to get stuff like that, but we'll see. As one of the objectives, honestly, defending the fucking dropship feels like that. Ow. But defending the dropship feels like that, genuinely. I think that's the first time I've ever died to this boss, actually. That's kind of depressing. That is slower in co-op. Yeah, the scaling on the objectives is really aggressive. If you have someone with you, it doubles the amount of stuff you need to do, like, per person. Which I do honestly think is kind of bad, because oftentimes you'll be the only one playing the objective, or people will be very spread out because they're not making it 2 objectives at the same time. I only reached 7 to 9 in squads. Honestly, I think that like if you're going to try and go for really high count solo, you kind of have to play certain frames. The ones I was playing when I got to 13 were, were Titania and Hildren. They're both incredibly strong and able to get through the map very fast. Just sit there and hold M1. Yeah, I think that a big part of that is that, Amisha is just so, like, that broken, right? Amisha is just that strong. My cold buff isn't gonna run out okay good. Sorry, dog, you're just gonna have to lay on the floor for a bit. I hope it would be funny. I'm not actually sure. I'll admit that I'm no expert on how the crit inherit thing with the tornadoes works. Okay, I guess I'm just on the boss now. That does remind me, though, it's been discovered that, pretty quickly, actually, Arcane, what is it, Debilitate? Primary Debilitate is a questionable addition to the game, let me put it that way. It is incredibly strong. Arcane Debilitate basically allows you to put Toxic Lash on anybody. Oh, great. He's starting his fucking flying animation, and if you phase transition while he's doing it, you have to wait for it to finish. Yeah, get it over with. But because of how Debilitate works, it has the same triple dipping mechanic as Toxic Lash. Baron Sobek became stronger. Debatably, if an enemy was at full corrosive stacks, then yeah, you could hit it with that, but I think it's going to be mostly beneficial for really anyone who wants to use like a status weapon that doesn't need Crux, or doesn't feel like it needs, or like it just like it wants it. So yeah, Kareen is also very good. I've been enjoying using it. It's part of the fight for me. I probably should switch my weapon. I've just kind of gotten used to doing it on Larkspur. I don't think I refreshed my cold buff in time, though. Also, this attack allowing you to skip an entire health bar is kind of nuts. They just were like, yeah, just get through this phase faster. But no planets. I highly doubt that. And I wouldn't set any expectations until we see more, right? Thank you for the 10 Canadian. That's worth, I think, 19 US cents. From Bane of Orion. It pisses me off that Adis can sing in perfect English but can't speak it. Smart enough. I think it's like, you know, he's like, he rehearsed it or something, right? That's how he can do it. Okay, I'm at 142, so I can pivot to a different resource. I have 28 hypercores. Hypercore sounds like something that you would hear if you were, like, reading up on the fucking Nation of Islam. You have to go to fucking Agartha and acquire the Ren hypercores in the last optics.
It sounds like a fucking music thing, like Slime Course.
Yeah, they did make it armor strip immune. These are pretty crazy. I will say as well, like, I have seen a lot of people say that the nerf to persistence was knee-jerk, and I'll admit that, like, I do think that you can make an argument that too much stuff affects it, but if persistence allowed you to completely AFK, I think it makes sense for it to be nerfed. At the very least, even if it was heavy-handed, they can, like, scale it back. But I think, like, the problem with that, honestly, is that some of the developers sometimes put their foot in their mouth, so to speak, with these things. Like when Rebecca said little adjustment with Daunted and they nerfed the fuck out of him. Because this time, Pablo said on Twitter, what balance, when being asked about persistence, and then they nerfed it in a day, and it's like, okay. Okay. If you're going to acknowledge that it's probably going to be overpowered, but then act like it's not a big deal and then you nerf it, I can see why some people are, like, a little iffy about that. The problem is, like, as far as I'm aware, the subreddit, I've only perused it a little bit. It seems like they're having a meltdown about this update. Not Angel of the Zeraman level, but between the nerf to persistence especially, as well as the fact that, you know, the artifact grind takes so long, I don't think they're having much of it. But I don't know, because like I said, I feel like, as well, like, considering, like, nullification effects are what disable persistence, I can understand the intention of it being, like, yeah, it's supposed to prevent you from just AFKing. There are certain things that can now threaten you out of your invincibility, but only concept in the game. Yeah, like, that's something I even said prior to the release of the Arcane, was because it's after damage reduction, it's not going to be useful in a lot of content unless you get to a pretty high level. Like Inaros, I've taken him to level 1000, and he was still fine. Until, you know, the enemy damage scaling hits the break point where it deals 5 fucking zillion damage immediately, because that's just how this game works. But, like, I've always felt like Persistence was going to be a pretty niche Arcane for very, very high-level stuff most people would not be doing. But I think that for a lot of people, the application for Persistence genuinely was the ability to AFK with it. I don't know. I feel like, at this point, the wider Warframe community can just do whatever the fuck they're doing. I feel like at this point, I've just lost basically all respect for the wider community. Is the same as AFK Immortality without investment. Yeah, because, like, as far as I'm aware, with certain setups, you could regen health fast enough that, yeah, you literally could not be threatened. You could just leave and you'd be fine, and that's a problem. VE has said themselves that with their own nerfing philosophy, the major things are if it damages other people's experience or if it enables you to not engage with the game. Those are, like, the two main criteria they use. But I don't know. Like, I feel like if you're willing to engage with the game, the persistence nerf will hopefully not be a huge deal, but we'll have to see. It's on you. Yeah, I think outside of some specific contexts, like the nullifier only wave in the Descendia, yeah, generally speaking, you should be able to get away from a nullifier most of the time. And I don't want to be, like, reductive to people who are upset with the change. I don't doubt that they have arguments for it that make sense, but at the same time, I feel like the reactions that I've seen have been fairly overblown. Where am I going? Up here. Okay. Oh, wait, that's an orb. That's an orb. I need that shit. My strike will take 9 Uriels to charge if I don't pick this up. If yes, what were they like? I'm gonna be honest with you. I watch, like, one movie a year. So, no. I'm gonna be honest, the only reason I knew who he even was I recognized his voice from, like, Animal Planet documentaries. The fucking guy in the Warframe trailer. I'm pretty sure his name is German, and I don't know how you're actually supposed to pronounce it, but Okay. 9 Uriels with like 25 Dantes and their Infernos? Indeed. Looking at my chat makes me get so fucking disoriented in this mode because you have to cross the entire map so often. I'm just like, where the fuck am I? Okay, it's all the way down there. Are we dead ass? Oh, wait, I'm an idiot. I need to fucking push the button first. What am I doing? I was thinking it was the build the battery objective. SVs usually? Yeah, that's why I'm not sure. I couldn't believe my eyes. Yeah, leave it to the Warframe community to give the most dog shit takes imaginable because they're mad about something.
Typical.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't think shield gating allows you to... And this actually reminds me, there was actually a point where shield gating did make you invincible. I don't know if you all remember, launch orange shards did that. And the community melted down about it being nerfed too. Again, with certain Warframes, you were literally unkillable. Like Octavia's mallet, because it dealt blast damage, you could not die. So they made the nerf that in the when you're in your shield gate, it doesn't work. Stupid easy to farm. Yeah, it's weird because the Descendia, the weekly mode, has basically no grind, and the Parita Rebellion's grind is kind of insane. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'll admit, maybe the persistence nerf needs some fine-tuning, but I feel the same way that I felt about, like, Dante when he got nerfed. It deserved it. If you're able to, AFK with any strategy like that and just not be threatened at all, then I think there's a problem there for sure. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really used persistence much, and I don't doubt that people who are on the side of it getting unnerved have some legitimate grievances. I don't want to try and discredit their position, but I'm just I'm personally of the perspective that, like, if something allows you to AFK, it makes sense to try and get rid of it to some extent, right? Rework here. Yeah, I actually do also prefer post-rework Hysteria, mostly because its stance got a lot better. Hi, don't do that. Thank you. I don't know why my Atomos is taking so long to charge its Incarnate. I don't feel like it was this bad in the past, but I'm also at the point where I'm just charging specifically cold so I can slow things. Things being allowed to be invincible. I'm still of the opinion that I don't think Revenant is in, like, dire need of a nerf. I don't think it would be unwarranted if it happened, but I don't think he's, like, as offensive, I guess, because it's bound to one specific Warframe. But at the same time, I do think you can make an argument. I mean, then again, I guess Rev's invincibility is also affected by things like nullifiers, but considering the star power used, I do think that, like, for me, it depends. There are certain advertisements from them that I feel like are lacking. Use more of it. I mean, they do seem to use several of them already. Like, I've seen them do the, like, the Dax ground stab attack and stuff like that, so... Oh, that's 400. I thought that said 40 meters, not 400. Fuck that noise. We are not picking up that orb. Isn't actually AFK, though. Well, I think here's the thing with that. There aren't that many things that are strictly AFK, but things that are macroable, which is against terms of service, but that doesn't stop people, right? So, like, technically Revenant's invincibility is an AFK, but if you were to, like, throw on a script that just pressed 2 periodically, or, like, rolled for rolling guard, you could be fine. But I also feel like, I don't know, you didn't really do anything else at the same time. I guess we'll see. Like I've said before, I don't feel like it's in dire need of a nerf, but at the same time I do think that if it was to get nerfed, it would make perfect sense. I don't know. I'm also, like, I know my perspective is warped because I'm a solo player most of the time. So if something is really egregious in multiplayer, it doesn't really affect me. And if I don't like something, I simply don't use it, which isn't really an option for other people at times, because it's like, well, if my teammate is using it, it's, like, disruptive, then it doesn't matter. Burst a vessel in my head? I mean, I haven't seen it. I am not really super familiar with Iron Mouse in general, but I will say, though, that those songs getting played at the Streamer Awards made me sad because the Streamer Awards is a fucking clown show. And it's like, man, why does Warframe have to be associated with this in any capacity? VTube scene grosses me out. I think that there are VTubers that are, you know, like my friend May is a VTuber, and I think she's a lot of like a very fun person to be around. I just don't really get the appeal of VTubing, to be honest. Like, I thought May's streams were fun because I thought she had a fun personality. You could remove the avatar and it wouldn't change the experience for me at all. I don't personally understand the infatuation with like that specific element of the stream, if that makes sense. I remember back in the day when a VTuber was someone who had face rig and the Doge model, right? And like that was what they were doing. Well, I might actually not get to 9 again because no enemies are spawning, so I can't speed this up. That's funny. It's transparent horny baiting? I think that depends. At the same time, I'm not super involved with the VTubing community. I don't imagine there are plenty of people there who are like actual fucking lunatics or, you know, something of that stripe. It's not really in my purview, right? Like I said, it doesn't really appeal to me, so it's not something that I have a particularly strong opinion on. Hey, buddy, hold this. There's a Ballast role-playing YouTuber. Oh, hell no. Okay, so I was throwing that down to affect the Prime Warframe, and he teleported away? And now I have to fight 2 of them at once, so this objective's not going to get completed for sure.
Oh.
Especially because it's fucking Bolt and Caliban who are the 2 tankiest. Fuck my life, dude. My luck has been so bad. Yeah, god damn it. Best reactions to Warframe quests. I think a lot of them are, like, very animated on purpose. Which, like, I'll be real, I find that kind of annoying. Yeah, this, honestly, them buffing the Tektolysts' survivability, I feel like was totally unnecessary. This guy is such a bitch to kill now if you're not using, like, something that deals a fuck zillion damage a second. Where are you going? Because it's like, if you bring, like, Titania or Mesa or Hildren or something, this boss is still really easy. But, like, look, I'm hitting this guy for 500,000 damage per hit of multi-shot, and it's barely chipping away at his health. Is he vulnerable to cold? Yeah, I was going to say he's a sentient, so he should be, but... I find it bothersome. Track him. Last I played her, I believe they do, yeah. Does pineapple belong on pizza? I mean, I don't personally like it, but, wait, is this a D's Nuts joke? Would it be like, how about you put a pizza D's Nuts in your mouth? I can never let my guard down. I can never let my guard down. Bombs. Like, honestly, if I was being smart, I would be playing frames that are more efficient for grinding this, like Hildren or Titania, but I kind of just don't want to. Okay, where is he going? This fucking rat bastard. Let me just build up some galvanized stacks on my Cedo. Now that we've learned from Warframe that it is the best primary in the entire game. Honestly, I feel like changing survival to 3 minutes would probably be too fast. Like, defense I get, because it requires you to be a very active participant in the mission to do it quickly. But with survival, I feel like it would just make the game mode, like, even more brain dead than it already is. And also probably make it the most efficient game mode for a lot of grinds in the game, which is unfortunate because I think it's boring. Or if I'm not reading the chat a ton at the moment, I'm just trying to deal with this stupid fucking boss so I can move on to something else. Maybe if I'm gonna grind Tektolyst, I do have to play Titania or Hildren. This shit's just taking a fucking eternity. Way too optimal for my optimizing brain. I feel you there. That and the shuttle objective, I don't like at all. That's like 30 seconds. While that's true, you have to be a very active participant in the mission. Survival, you can just sit there, and time will pass, and you'll progress, right? For something like Cascade or Alchemy, where you can go really fast, you have to be playing well to go that fast. Beat it with the Stug? That sounds very miserable. I ran out of ammo in my Cedo again. Did you spawn your minions so I can build some galvanized stacks? Conditionals have ruined Warframe. I deal 0 damage until I kill enemies. New video topic from CoolKid369. Yeah, the Tektolyst, like I said, if you're not playing a frame who deals a fuck zillion damage, holy shit is this guy a bullet sponge after they buffed him. Like, the Hunhullist I understand. The Hunhullist deserved the buff. He was ridiculously easy to kill. The Tektolyst? Not a fan. I hope that they nerf him back down, because like I said, this takes an eternity if you're not using something super optimized. But, like, holy shit, how much fucking health does this guy have? I feel the same way about the Prime Vanguard, to be honest. Basically, all of these enemies feel like old damage attenuation. They are really, really tanky. Dude, the laser wall deals so little damage, it's not even a threat. I don't even know why. I don't know if anyone saw it. It dealt 20 damage to my shield, which has 50% DR, and then I guess whatever adaptation's at. I think I have adaptation on. So it's like... Damn, why is it so low? The suffering. Can this guy please just fucking die? Where's the energy or the ammo box? I feel like they should be a little bit more visible. Maybe have like a light on them or something so it's easier to see, but not the end of the world. Just find like acquiring them a little weird. Also a little weird that the Tektolyst has no mercy animation or anything, because I feel like it would make sense, but that's probably just a me thing. Fucking final. Squad is bouncing is out of whack. Well, I think that the Prime Vanguard solo is incredibly difficult. In a group, it's probably a lot better. Would be good in Warframe? I'm not answering that. Kind of come out of nowhere. I know someone actually posted an explanation for that in my Discord, or like a theory about it having to do with something nobility related, but just double the number. I feel like them having invisible DR is actually better, because then it will multiply with other sources of DR. His shields originally were extremely weak, but I don't know. Like, I feel like it's fine personally, because it gives you something to leverage with things like adaptation or like Night Form Eclipse or whatever, right? Did you want to join me for this, Nitro? Nitro?
Mic check?
Okay, I can hear you now. And Zora's Influence. Okay, what isn't easy with Naramon and Zora's Influence? Like, this is kind of my issue with the boss fights in general. If you're using, like, a super juiced setup, then yeah, it's gonna be easy for you. But if you're not, then I find it to be extremely annoying. What's your opinion on the Tauron strikes? Of the 3 that I have, I feel like they're just not very effective for how long they take to charge and how hard they are to grind. I do hope that they receive some buffs, either to charge speed or their effectiveness. Get spawn camp the entire fight. Yeah, like I said, this... I feel like in general, the boss fights feel like if you have the right gear, they're a joke, and if you don't, they're extremely annoying. like I can take Hildren and I'll do fine because Hildren deals 1 billion damage. But like with Lavos, even though I was using a very good gun, they just have so much fucking health. Like, I don't know, I've seen a lot of people basically boil it down to, well, just use X. And it's like, I don't think you understand, like, my criticism is not that I can't use X or that I don't have X, right? It's that I would like to use Y, but it feels like the gap is so large that I don't really have a choice.
Oh, that's on Oculus. Oops.
You're just using Stalker? Real? Alright, now it's time for my efficiency to tank because I'm the only one playing the objective.
I left Oculus on this time, so,
Just use Wisp. She is the best Warframe in the game, according to Overframe. I would trust Overframe with my life. If they put me dying higher on a tier list than me living, then that's what happens.
That's how you vote or some shit. I don't fucking...
Yeah, it's called democracy. Helldivers 2 reference. My X sucks. I've kind of been like drafting up some vague ideas for the... I mentioned the last stream that people suggested doing a video about augments, and it was a pretty popular idea, so I've kind of been drafting up like an early idea of what I would want that to look at. My goal would be more like dividing augments into a few categories and then talking about those categories. But I don't have anything set in stone or even like solidly written yet. It's mostly just a few ideas. Is it the right one on a toilet seat? Honestly, I wouldn't either. It's kind of unfortunate because there are people who post stuff to Overframe that know what they're doing. It's not most of them. Also, Sleeper Tech to protect this idiot. He can be healed. Like a normal ally with Protective Dash. So it gives him like 60% of his HP back. Okay, damn it, I forgot that this one was here. Most rushed out of anything recently. I don't think that, like, for me, the update doesn't feel rushed so much as specifically the Tauron strike mechanic feels rushed. That's the main thing to me. And honestly, the update's reward structure is weird. Why is the weekly game mode super easy to farm and generous, while this game mode is super difficult to farm?
Are you saying you'd rather it be the other way around? Or?
I'm just saying it's bizarre. I'm fine with both modes being easy to grind. Frankly, that's the ideal scenario to me. But Nitro hitting me with the "so you hate pancakes."
Nah, I'm just saying because I know you complain about this for fucking ETA.
ETA, I was gonna say, takes you fucking multiple months to max its arcade.
I'm not saying it's good that it's like that. I'm saying that it's also bad for ETA because holy shit, it takes so long to get ETA. But like, I'm just
fortunately, at the very least, now that we can buy the arcanes from an arcane pack, it's not nearly as bad. But so you like waffles? True. Can I pick up the... Where did it... Okay, dude, fuck this game. I'm guessing Frodia just stepped on a barrel, because... Barrels are actually the strongest thing you can use against the Prime Vanguard. It nukes like 70% of their health bar instantly. You hate Deep Archimedia? Okay, I see what's happening now. I will not stand for this bullshit. Idle Unland's final reward for Steel Path Descendia. Fuck it. Like I said, I don't know what's happening to this game's reward structure. Because I also feel like one of my biggest problems with Harita Rebellion, genuinely, not with the gameplay, but with like the way its rewards are structured, is you can finish this mode. Once you have all of the artifacts done and grinded, there's no reason to come back here. And I feel like this game has been around for 12 years. You would think that they would figure out that game modes need evergreen rewards by now. Because after I finish, like, I think farms that are beatable aren't a good thing. I feel like I should have a reason to do content that feels like a meaningful progression no matter what. Like, it's part of why I like relics so much. If I'm bored, I can do a relic mission, and it will be beneficial no matter what mission I'm doing, right? Because I can get ducats, I can get stuff to trade, things like that. But with like this mode, once you're done, right? There's no reason to come back here, and I think that's unfortunate. What can they offer? Well, they made a big step in the right direction with open world syndicates and relic packs. I think that's honestly a decent start, is for them to sell relic packs, because those are helpful, especially like to hoard currency, so that when like a new Prime Access comes out, you're able to buy up the relic packs. I think that would probably be the best way to go. But, because like, Marie already does sell some stuff, namely the resources to allow you to spin the arcane packs at Roth, which is a little weird to me because, again, god damn it, the Descendia is super fucking generous. So like the arcane pack, it doesn't even feel necessary to me. This takes longer than those sources. I think the thing is, like, if you have some kind of currency you can hoard up to a limit, then it'd be good. It's good to sit at the limit. Like, whenever a new Prime Access comes out, it's not uncommon to grind out enough Steel Essence to buy up as many relic packs as you possibly can immediately. Be farmable from something. I'll be real, like, would that be nice? Yes. Will it ever happen? No. For a reason that Rebecca's actually already talked about on a dev short. Forma's too valuable of a microtransaction. It can't be given something like that because it's one of the game's main sources of revenue.
Unnecessary evil, I feel like, for Warframe's free-to-play nature.
Leave smaller in size. I've seen people are pretty split on the Operator Drifter remaster. I do think that some of the faces kind of got left in the void, so to speak, which is kind of unfortunate. I've personally found it.
Upgrades, some of them got, you know, yeah.
I've personally found it to be an improvement, but I get, like, I've seen some side-by-sides, and I get, like, if people are upset with what happened to them, I get that. Decent Steel Essence source. I mean, it is a decent Steel Essence source, but I feel like you have to consider, if you're going to, like, be grinding Steel Essence, an endless mode that's a relic with fast turnover, like Alchemy especially, is really good, as well as Cascade. Because you get the resource bonuses, if you're going to be grinding for a while, those modes are going to be the fastest, to my knowledge. They are incredibly quick. Or incredibly efficient. Once you have the full buff, especially with Resourceful Retriever and like a resource booster, you are getting a shit ton of Steel Essence. Especially with Alchemy, because if you're playing fast, you can get through a rotation every 3 minutes. So it is a very efficient game mode. Okay, they teleported over to Nitro. So, mid as I'm shooting the Mesa, she's like, actually, I'm leaving. Bitch. Get over here. You don't have the Drifter active? You can't? That is kind of strange. I was not aware of that.
But you can't have the Drifter active where?
You can't enter the Cathedral, allegedly, unless you have the Drifter active. In the past via the Refractory. I'm gonna be honest, I actually agree with you there. It doesn't really make any sense. I'm just gonna spawn all of these guys as fast as I possibly can so I can kill them from range. That guy is just taking fuck all damage. What the actual fuck? There we go, Jesus. Thank you for the 10 Canadian, Bane of Orion. I'm trying to send you finally, and so far this seems like Sanctuary Onslaught too. I personally find it to be more fun. The objectives are a lot more varied, and the modifiers are kind of goofy. Some of them, like the Eximus spam, are really fucking annoying, but I personally enjoyed it. And its Onslaught exists now. It's still much more efficient for focus and experience grinding. Onslaught spawns a shit ton of enemies, more than basically any other game mode, in very consistent waves. Who is disrupting? Oh, they're disrupting my other crate anyway, so it doesn't even matter. I'll just switch back.
I got medic. I forgot my, I forgot I get, overcharged.
Community is friendly. I mean, I certainly try, right? But, and I will say as well, if you ask me a question and I don't respond to it, I don't try, like, I don't ignore people in chat deliberately. It just moves too fast for me to keep track of a lot of the time. But I'm always happy to help. I've played way too fucking much of this game, and I'm enough of a nerd that I'm always happy to share things that I know.
Keep talking, chat.
Nitro, shut up. You're only nice to me because you want to suck my dick. Anyways. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. Anyhow.
I mean, I certainly can't say that you want to do the same to me, but, like, you know.
I'm gonna get banned off this platform one of these days, and it's gonna be your fault. I'm just saying. Listen to music, probably Pink Floyd fans because they're ancient. Well, the Soma chord existed, so... Thank you for being such a great... Okay, that's specifically Robin. That is her fault. Anyone who references it is because she said it.
References the what?
I'm not even repeating it. I don't even want to repeat it. People keep bringing it up because it, like, I remember when she first said it, literally everyone in the chat, including, like, the Stalker and Hunhow role players, broke character to be like, okay, hold the phone, timeout. Working on a new video? Splendid. Blueprint is doing his best to work his way to the #1 slot in the chatter tier list. Fuck you, Caliban. Die. The increased Void Sling distance mod is so fucking nice. We'll be selling decorations for Burrito resources. I guess that, like, I feel like decorations being an evergreen reward is, like, a tenuous thing to me, because they don't matter to everyone, right? Or they don't matter to a decent amount of the fan base. Then again, though, it's still something. Will be helping me on this one. Blueprint, did you see? I don't know if you saw this. Someone posted this in Gradler Gang. They had a bug where someone's drifter in Duviri was Excalibur, but he was wearing the drifter attire. So it was Excalibur's head and arms, and then all of the drifter's body armor. And they were like, holy fuck, what happened to John Warframe? I'll have to go find that image if you haven't seen it, because that shit was fucking hilarious. I catch up a little bit, but hard to aim the shots. I agree, especially with certain Warframes. Like, one of them, okay, this might sound like a really weird nitpick, but Gyre, one of my biggest issues with her, genuinely, is when you have her 4 active, it is so bright that it makes darker areas really hard to see. And it's really annoying. Okay, whoops, I fucked up. I really, really need these guys to give me my shields, but I think that's... Yeah, right, they're not armored, are they? Or no, they are. Okay, I don't... Look, it's not important. We're fine now, that's all that matters. My John Warframe is kind of homeless. Thought I was safe from focus farming. Nope. I'm on minimum settings. I'm on fairly high settings, but like in the Zeramin especially, it's really hard to see when I have her 4 active. Like, it's not like a huge deal, but it does bother me. Hold up. Also, Enervate has revolutionized both Hildren and Titania. Like, honestly, I feel like the 2 biggest things for secondaries that came out of the Kakarot Encore, like, update for me were Enervate and Encumber. Both of them are so incredibly good. Enervate for frames like Hildren and Titania that don't have a lot when it comes to critical stats, and then Encumber because you can combine it with Impetus for a huge bump in strength and efficiency, which is really good for frames that have bad efficiency or to offload the stat, right? This is taking longer than I expected. Maybe I do have to go back to Titania. This guy is such a fucking bullet sponge now.
Stop me, I'll run out of ammo eventually. I have 0 bullets left, but I'm still firing.
Okay, there we go. From this mode, like with Thrax, I actually agree there. We didn't come off as intrusive. No, I did. I just, I want to find like a decent time to do it.
Recovering these memories, you have restored dignity to the dead and protected your past.
What are we, why can't I see it when it's loading?
Excellent work.
Fuck off, Lotus. I wonder how much Steel Essence I have. Objectively the worst Lich system. Well, I will say, saying personal hot take followed by the word objectively, that is an oxymoron, because that's not how that works. But I do think that the Kodas have their problems. There are things I like about them. Like, for example, I do like the currency element. But I also really don't like that you basically have 3 game modes to grind them in. That shit does drive me nuts. It gets really boring really fast. We'll switch to Titanium Ions, Eneric. That's probably fine. Like I said, I feel like the Vazarin staff is the best one that I have, but... yeah, I also will say I like the system that they have in place where you only need 1 mod instead of 3. But if you don't have that mod, that shit sucks.
You're fucked.
For the weekly calendar. Yeah, the weekly calendar also sucks. The lack of challenge variety just makes me hate the system, honestly. Have you tried the Nerlon Sword? Yeah, I finished leveling it up. That's the same. Yeah, Requiem mods can put you in the same situation where you just don't have the one you need. The benefit is if you have an Ool, you can bypass it, but if you don't, tough shit, basically.
Yeah.
I honestly am kind of sad Holvania never really got, like, a huge expansion to its modes. Because I feel like having 2 survival nodes and 2 exterminate nodes... kind of rough. With disabilities, true. But, like, a lot of the challenges are just, like, kill enemies with abilities, kill enemies with melees, kill this specific faction with one of those 3 things. The only unique ones, really, are kill the tank, which isn't hard at all, and break containers, and that one can go fuck right off. The break containers one is super annoying to complete.
I read see him as in the fucking Foundry as see him at home, and I'm just like, okay, what?
We have CM at home.
Okay, what fucking weapon is this?
I do use Zaku, but it's still really boring. The objective is not fun at all. You load into it.
To give Smokey back again.
Like, if you want to avoid, or like if you want to do it efficiently, you have to load into a mission, ignore all of the enemies, and run through it spamming your 4. And then when you break enough crates, you just go back to the start and do it over again. I really don't like it. I think it's really boring, especially if you have the maximum tier one. Holy fuck, that guy went flying. The maximum tier one where you have to destroy. 300? God, that shit sucks. It is so boring. Why didn't I get... I mean, then again, I do think that Entangle's like the worst slow in the entire game.
That one was outside the radius, actually, but okay. Got him.
I just want the extra butterflies. The Grenier Space Program, yeah, they're sending him off. He's the minefield tester. That's his certified role.
I guess that was my fucking, like, rare lock-in moment where I do the objective all by myself.
Good job. I was mostly focusing on killing enemies to get the scanner thing reduced, but you were finding it basically as soon as I killed them, so works out in the end.
I wasn't even looking at the scanner. I just found him.
Whatever
I got the initial fucking, like, left-right race, and then I just kept...
Any hopes and dreams? Yeah, I've heard that their interview said that we're getting more Railjack content in the future.
You did?
They did an interview with some gaming outlet where they were asked that question, but... like, for me, I will say that, like, I'm excited to see more Railjack content, but then again, the Coda fights was supposed to be Railjack content with huge air quotes, so I really hope that we get, like, actual Railjack content and not Railjack content. I imagine it's going to be Tau related, though. We already know that 2026 is going to be Tau's year, basically, from
2026,
Tenocon, so... oh, wait, hold on. We can't immediately nuke this thing off the face of the Earth or the Warframe won't spawn. You have to get, like, halfway through the objective-ish, and then it's okay to blow it the fuck up. Okay, come on. Can you spawn the Commandeered Warframe, please? Wait for it to actually spawn. Oh, yeah, we're good now. Perish. Anyways...
I fucking love my
press Seeker Volley and kill everything.
Because it's just particle effects, plat, plat, plat.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, Seeker Volley could, at this point, I would be fine with it getting nerfed. just because it allows you to skip all fighter combat. It is so incredibly strong. Then again, I'm still, like I said, if I don't like it, I won't use it. But in multiplayer, you can't avoid it. If you're playing like a public lobby, someone's going to bring it. It's just too good to pass up.
Genuinely.
Makes the late stage very easy. I don't think they will, because Amisha exists and can also just sit there and do nothing. Really, I do think at this point, Arc-Wings require... Okay, where the fuck does this game want me to go? I think Arc-Wing in general requires, like, a pass, because Odonata and Elytron aren't very good. Itzal is, like, the one balanced Arc-Wing at this point. Amisha is blatantly overpowered.
What's the other one? Fucking,
I've mentioned all four of them.
Arc-Wing?
Yeah, Odonata and then Elytron, which is also not very good.
Elytron is dog shit, period. Like, it doesn't have any good abilities, I feel like.
It just deals... It's the damage-dealing one, but it doesn't do anything. All of its abilities are just super weak. Without, like, really gimmicky setups and open worlds to use other frame abilities to buff it, it's just not very good.
If it did actual, like, fucking, I don't know, like, maybe, whatchamacalls, it's, what the fuck is that mortar one that's that fucking bane of the, what's it, necromantic existence?
What? Arcabex?
Yeah, if it did, like, Arcabex lower damage per missile, like, that shit would actually be really cool.
Yeah, thank you for the 10 CAD Bane of Orion. I feel like you're giving me too much money at this point. Considering that in Canada, your rent is $7,000 a month. But, the Hunalist having an Arcwing portion of the boss... Sorry, go ahead. Okay, never mind, I guess. The Hunalist having an Arcwing portion of the boss fight gives me hope they're looking at thinking about the system. I certainly hope so. Especially with modular Arcwing being promised to us, 3,000 years ago. I would certainly hope that they give it another look. Especially because, like, yeah, as Up and Cake has mentioned, they gave us Arcwing, or like Arc Gun Arcane adapters, and we also got a new one in Arbicep. So... Thinking of moving? Damn, it really is that bad. That's right, I'm gonna need to drop the energy quartz because that's Titania. I have to get out of I have to use my operator to charge him. So I basically am completely combat ineffective.
Oh, roger, this is the one thing I'm good for, combat.
Okay, I think Metro missed the point of the memo, but it's fine. I don't think we lost any progress. With Gerudo lore? True. I'll be honest. I feel like people begging for modular Arcwing, let's be real, most of them would not use it. I think most people that bring it up, just bring it up as like a promise that DE has yet to fulfill. Which, I mean, in a game like this, stuff is like picked up and dropped conceptually all the time, unfortunately. Like, does anyone here remember the Midacid mod set that never released with Deimos Arcana? Or the Glaive Arcwing weapon that never came out?
Hey, what's it? There's a, fucking music thing over here somewhere.
I think I've scanned the one in that room already. If you're still near that white marker for the code, please pick it up. If not, it's not a huge deal, but this game mode is buggy as shit and likes to spawn them halfway across the map. Glaive Arcwing? Yeah, there was a concept for a glaive as an arc melee that never got added. Sheriff Anyo, forward rework. Yeah, both well, the Sergeant back when he was Sergeant Nefanyo and forward were supposed to get reworks as well, and that never happened. The Sergeant, dude, he sucks so much ass. What an awful boss. I will say that I had a moment that made me kind of depressed when it comes to the overall community sentiment. I ran a poll on my channel like a couple years ago now, I think. Maybe I should rerun this just to see if this is still the case. But I asked people, who's your favorite boss? The overwhelming answer was the Sergeant, because he's easy. And I'm gonna be honest, I thought that was depressing as fuck. Like, especially now, Warframe has many pretty decent bosses in it. They're not like, cream of the crop best bosses in gaming, right? It's no, fucking, like, Sword Saint from Sekiro type shit, right? You're not going to get that kind of boss fight. But plenty of the boss fights are pretty good for the gameplay that we have, in my opinion, these days. DE's made a very obvious, conceited effort to make those fights better, and I think it's been working out. But the #1 pick being the Sergeant because he's easy to grind is so fucking depressing. Kill a boss sergeant. Oh shit, yeah. Like, for the Nightwave one, I kind of get it because people are trying to be efficient. But at the same time, it's just like, he's your favorite boss in the whole game for that?
Just talk shit through you in the entire match and dies in one shot. That's fucking funny.
Yeah, it's like the Kengineer clip where he killed him through the map with Navigator.
That was peak.
It's kind of cool. I think that at this point, my favorite bosses are the Fragmented one and, weird take probably, Colorvo. I think Colorvo is hugely slept on. If you don't immediately blitz him down with your Warframe, he is actually a super cool boss. I've done on stream several times, I've done max level Decreeless Colorvo. He's a very good boss. He has a lot of really cool attacks, and they're all very well telegraphed. Minus his slide kick. That one comes out of nowhere. But I really like Colorvo. I think he's a very fun boss. You just kind of have to go out of your way to experience a lot of what he has to offer, unfortunately. Oh, I didn't realize that a Commandeer Dash was here.
Yeah, I got him. Don't whip all my projectiles.
Oh, did I drop the... God damn it, I think I opened the locker instead of actually doing the thing. Nitro, can you go clear the other ammo drop zone, please?
Roger.
Okay, they just walked out of the radius, so never mind.
I'm here.
They were going to not engage with the mechanic. I mean, that's just how the Warframe community is, depressingly enough. I think it's kind of the same with the persistence nerf. Not, like I said, not the exact same. I know there are people with, like, legitimate grievances and criticisms of it. I don't want to misrepresent them. But, is that, like, Warframe players don't want to play Warframe. A lot of the time, they genuinely want to get through it as fast as possible. And, like, on the one hand, I don't think that makes no sense. Because Warframe is a game where you grind for gear, right? So, if you're grinding for gear, then oftentimes, if you have a limited time, you want to get through that grind quickly, so you can move on to the next grind.
And that's what the content you're grinding for.
And
which is the point of grinding.
I think that a lot of people start to, like, they fail to see the forest for the trees, if that makes sense. Like, they're so fixated on getting through the grind, they don't actually find themselves enjoying the process of it at all. And don't get me wrong, there are some grinds in this game that are fucking miserable, and I didn't enjoy at all. Like, grinding for Nidus's parts, that shit was terrible. I did not enjoy that for a second. But I don't know, I feel like a lot of Warframe players end up in that situation of, like, getting so caught up in the act of grinding out things as efficiently as possible that they don't enjoy it anymore. Like, I've been doing a lot of the Burrito Rebellion missions on frames that take a while to kill the bosses because I have fun playing them, so that's who I want to play. Even though, like, someone like Titania is probably the most efficient option that I have access to. Oh, actually, nope, I can't use the book. If I use the Tauron Strike, I'll get out of my 4, and then when I recast, it'll have 250% power strength, and I will completely lose control of my Titania. I was about to do it, and then I realized, yeah, we're definitely not going to get to the next rotation, because the next objective I'm almost positive is going to be defend the dropship. And honestly, this one takes an eternity, too, because killing the enemies does not give you that much progress. Still really don't feel like there should be objectives that are largely contingent on waiting in a mode like this, but it is what it is, I guess. Punish attempts to cheese the boss. Yeah, I feel like, and they've removed attempts to cheese the bosses, too, like when Vor's silence thing got removed. I'm proud that I'm, like, the only person who got those glyphs without using the silence cheese when that was still in the game, but yeah, we have 20 seconds to fulfill the next order. That's not happening. Let's just go see what it is. I want to see if my prediction was correct. Is it oh, it's air squads. Damn. If we had like 30 more seconds, this actually totally would have been doable.
Damn.
Is a choice? Yeah, I agree with that much. It requires more effort. Yeah, like I said, killing the enemies gives you a little bit of a boost, but it's really not much. Okay, yeah, now I don't have any way to proc Pistolier until he spawns as goons, but
don't worry, I can just hold on my fucking 5 in the 5x5.
It's like,
He's in there somewhere. Can't you see him? I'm just blowing him up.
Titania is a balanced Warframe. He doesn't present any problems with the game whatsoever. Anyways, I don't know. Yeah, I actually totally agree. They've actually said that they want to bring that mechanic into the rest of the game, but they don't really know how to approach it. I will say, though, EDA survival is the best. ETA survival, I think, botched it. And my reasoning for that is, the Babao spawns are super shit. They love to spawn at the extract. So going to kill them is a huge waste of time. Especially because 2 of the 3 modifiers, actually all of the modifiers you can get in ETA... Oh wait, because I'm flying, it doesn't count me. But all of the modifiers you can get in ETA, punish you for leaving the towers by themselves. Was launch Eidolons? That's fair, yeah. The easy kill at the end. I actually have... Okay, I've talked about this before, and I don't want to get super into it because I feel like there's not really a point. But I have a concept that I've been kind of, like, workshopping. I don't have any way to make a video about this right now because I have no visuals. But I've been kind of workshopping a concept to, like, overhaul Neptune's tile set. And, like, a proposal for what that could look like. And my concept for the boss is basically a parkour challenge with an easy kill at the end. The sort of concept that I have for the Neptune tile set is it's like a repaired version of the Gas City with some differences. And they're using the winds on Neptune to power, like, for energy so that they can power a supercomputer. And that supercomputer is the boss. But you don't actually, like, fight the computer in, like, a mech or something. You have to, like, go through parkour challenges to destroy, like, shield generators, and then you can kill the boss. Which I think would be a fun way to approach a boss fight. I'm mostly taking inspiration from Tom from Ghost Runner. But I feel like that could be a super cool idea. Then again, I don't want it to feel like there's no investment, so I think it could be kind of cool to have, like, a last stand phase where once you break all 3, the boss just, like, floods the room with enemies that you have to kill. But for the supercomputer boss fight already, kind of, but it's still a lot more combat-oriented than anything else. What would that do to the hyenas? So my concept, the hyenas would basically be special enemies. The idea I had for the tile set is it's all robots, because all of the robots are, being powered by the wind energy that they're harvesting. And so the hyenas would have a mechanic where you could rarely encounter one, just like normally, and if they saw you, they would initiate a pack call, and if you don't kill them fast enough, they spawn the other 3 hyenas. So it'd kind of be like a... I don't know how to put it. Like an enemy where if you saw them, you had to kill them quickly, because they would try and call their backup, and if you didn't get them in time, then you'd have to fight all 4 hyenas. I don't know, I have an entire, like, draft as well for, like, a new Corpus sub-faction that focuses on cold and gas damage and a bunch of other stuff. But, I feel like... I don't know if it's worth talking about, because I don't even have any way to visually show my idea.
The anti-Skuldra, baby, or the evil Skuldra.
Yeah, the idea I had was basically they would use cold procs to slow you down so you couldn't get away from people who were inflicted with gas. That's kind of the idea that I had.
Oh, so, COVID, I did.
Real? And then, like, they would all be... Why can't... I picked up a code. What the fuck? Did I lose the code because I got staggered out of it? Oh, no, I think Nitro just activated the other one, and I didn't notice.
Oh, oops.
Robot ghouls? Perhaps. As opposed to the good Skuldra? Indeed. But yeah, like I said, I have a lot of ideas written up for it. I don't work on the game, so it's not gonna ever happen. And I have no way to visually show it in a video, so it just kind of sits in the Google Drive right now with like a, hey, wouldn't this be cool? Could be interesting. Yeah, I had concepts where like, instead of distressed pipes, there would be like high voltage wire. What the actual fuck?
What?
This thing just spit out 3 ammo boxes.
We take those.
Well, you can't use them because they're supposed to activate the turrets, so...
Oh.
But why are Rusalka and Victor attractive? Oh, yes, the paradox of the hot villain. Ended up in the water bath in the old Peace Quest. I think that they just, like, the Lotus just took them there. I don't think they really do much setup for how the Dark Refractory was even, like, discovered. But Yeah, like the I had an idea for like high voltage wire that would like arc to enemies, or like vents where if you destroyed them, they would start to like push enemies around and things like that. But I have a lot of ideas for it that are exceedingly nerdy and never going to ever be in the game, so I don't even know if it matters enough to try and explain them. Especially because, like, I feel like it's a very weird thing to suggest. Have 0 skins for years. I don't really know why they handle it that way, to be. I imagine there's, like, a technical reason for some of them, but I'm not really sure. The struggle with objectives like this that take 5 fucking years to finish. I'm on the move. I'm moving. I'm grooving. Fuck you. Oh boy, another objective that forces me to get out of Razor Wing. Like, corrosive procs come from Toxin, and you can't poison a dropship, so that's a bit rough. I don't know why you can magnetic proc the dropship. Doesn't do anything. I think we'll come with Echoes of Peace. Honestly, I have no idea. We haven't gotten Echoes updates for a few things now. Major updates will typically get one, but... Just fucking zipping around. Breach mission. I think that, like... I think kind of the presumption is that if something is popular, it's because it's meta. So I get what you mean, but I think that's kind of where, like, the misnomer comes from, if that makes sense. Especially because the meta is typically mission dependent. Get an Echoes. Yeah, like, presumably we will, considering we got Dante Unbound and Tekrod Encore. I guess we'll have to see what happens. We are so close to finishing this objective. I just need a little more. Deimos collection. I think that, like, them just being skins to me makes sense, because adding that many weapons and making them all feel unique and worth using is probably pretty hard. I mean, I would have been cool with them being their own weapons, but honestly, I'll take it. Just like I said earlier, just trigger all of these so that I can kill the guys who spawn as soon as possible. Did he not die? What the fuck? Okay, no. He was just inflicted with the DOT, so he was taking a minute. Like their skins. Yeah, I think that, like, it's a matter of perspective as well, in terms of, like, some people, like, I remember when the AX-52 was released, there were people that were mad it wasn't a skin. Despite it being a really good assault rifle, there were a lot of people that thought that it should have been a skin, because they thought it was going to be bad. I think that, like, new guns are always fun, but I feel like they have to feel distinct in some way. And I also feel like they should be worth using.
They could feel like a similar version of, or like slightly different version of something else.
I feel like...
have archetypes, you know, I think it doesn't have to be unique, it could be like a unique type.
I do feel like if you're going to add a weapon that's like a direct downgrade from something else, then what's the point of adding it at this point in the game? Like, there are upgrades to existing weapons,
but... Like, fucking, like, side grades are always fine if it's, like, a certain weapon type, like a fucking high damage, slow fire, sort of, like, regular rifle sort of shit, I guess, you know?
Well, that would
like,
still be something that's more unique and distinct, right? Like, if they give us an assault rifle, like the AX, right? It's a generic AR with 2 gimmicks that make it much better in terms of the crit chance on headshot and the, Where the fuck is this ground scanner? Oh, it's up here, isn't it? I don't know. For me, it's still like the Skuldra weapons we got, all, like, kind of, with Tekrod Encore. They have cool gimmicks. They're not very good. At least I don't think they're very good. The melee is super good. I will concede that one. The melee is really good. I feel like the Jupiter is fine. Shut the fuck up, Windows. I accidentally hit the hotkey to open Active Directory. But the assault rifle is fine. The Purgator is really gimmicky. And I think the pistol sucks. I'll just come out and say it. 3-meter AoE on the grenade. What the fuck are we doing here?
That's like fucking be a fucking 6 radius.
It's bad. The grenade has no blast radius to speak of, borderline. It's not looking great for it. I have no way to kill these quickly because I don't have any way to remove their armor or stack a DOT on them, so...
I have some.
Well, you can also grapple the ships, but I can't leave Razor Wing without fucking myself over. How did that count as one squad? What the fuck? Release the parkour rework. Definitely possible. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I hope that we can go between wall bouncing and wall running, because I actually prefer wall bouncing. I like to use it to, like... What? Ash just despawned in front of me. I didn't see him even. He just lost, like... He didn't drop anything either, I don't think. Well, I picked up a Steel Essence. What the fuck? No, he did drop something, because I also got the... No, wait! Duh, I've already killed one. So no, he just disappeared. What the fuck?
Huh.
In the new operation. They've already posted what the rewards will be, and I don't believe that the Scout Prime was in there. I'd like to get it as a skin, though. I'm kind of surprised we didn't get a Bull 4 Prime skin, honestly, for the Scout.
Honestly, yeah.
This mode is honestly difficult to stream because I have to prioritize being efficient and also trying to read the chat, which is a challenge.
Yeah, I feel like this is another one of these, like, you know, fucking modes where, like, the fucking theme and environment don't really mesh with the gameplay because, like, this is really for the fucking fast, but, like, these environments are really detailed and, like, you know, almost fit for, like, I don't know, it feels like you're not really, I don't know.
You don't get a moment to actually appreciate them.
Or, you know, like, they have all these bunkers, you can actually go inside and shoot out the windows of the Pepper Titan ship, and you can, there's no reason to ever go in there because, you know, you're incentivized to move fast, and just, I'm not even incentivized to kill things, I'm incentivized to, unless, like, the objective, I'm just incentivized to go to the objective, repeat, and sort of shit like that, I don't know, you know?
They pair so well. Yeah, like, the Purgator isn't a terrible weapon, it's just a very gimmicky weapon. Scattered around in parts. Yeah, I think it'd be cool if we got a full one, especially because, I mean, minor spoilers, I guess, but Roth does talk about a Prime Galleon being sent to Tau. In the same part of the Codex? I've got no clue. They're old, that's why. Old items. Can I pick up the fucking thing? Jesus. I forgot I wasn't doing it exactly as the game wanted me to. Galilean Moon. Honestly, I wish we would get more of them in this game. Europa being the only one is unfortunate. I feel like the other three could be cool. I'm still a firm believer that both Io and Titan should get added to this game. Not just because of, like, Destiny, but because I think they could just be really cool opportunities. I'm here in the fucking bunker right now. Holy shit. Amnesia reference. We even have pregnancy in this game.
Oh.
Overload the weapon. I honestly, like, I think that they're fine, but I don't think that they're amazing. Specifically, like, the pistol. I think that the scythe has some potential when used with an external weapon. The pistol I just find to be really ammo inefficient. Okay, well, we finished a 9th objective, so we got that done at least, but I don't think we've got enough time for this unless it's like a super easy objective. Oh yeah, it is actually. Okay, perhaps. The dream lives on. I don't have an AoE weapon on right now, though, so...
I'm coming.
Don't worry, Adis, I'm goated.
Got him.
What would it be? That's an interesting question. Honestly, it would be Triton, just so I could see how blue Mars really is with my own eyes. That's all that matters.
I firmly believe it's the fucking camera film grading that makes Neptune look like that.
Honestly, I'm sorry, but that is just copium. Just on par and interesting. I don't feel like... I don't know. I guess it depends on what you consider a trash endgame weapon, or what would constitute an endgame weapon. Because, like, I feel like the new primes that we got, I wouldn't necessarily consider endgame, but I think that's also like a kind of a matter of perspective type of deal. I have almost 2,000 energy because of the Venerant buff. I have no galvanized stacks right now, though. Oh my god, I'm not sprinting and I'm this fast. The hitbox for it is frustratingly small. Hold on, I need to proc Pistolier.
I'm out of ammo.
Please, let me headshot something. Fuck, their heads are so small. It's gonna be an awe-inspiring thing. Yeah, I can see that. Well, I can't. That's kind of the problem. But I get where you're coming from. Well, map.
There we go.
Sort of a new star chart. That's kind of what I think is like a likely scenario. Is that the new Tau will be a new star chart that we progressively get new stuff for. I'm a little worried that we're gonna get fuck all for the first half of next year, so they can save it for TennoCon. But
remember, the better our chance of a new piece.
The new piece, the one
Gallery.
piece.
I got 2 handles for it and the main BP. Okay.
The Ren Hypercore derived. Yeah, okay, I need 2 more of those. I probably need 2, maybe 3 more runs to finish my Hypercores. Not accessible to new players, so why are they weaker than some low MR weapons? That's fair. I feel like they are kind of exceedingly niche. For me, I would consider an endgame weapon to be something like an Incarnon. But I get where you're coming from. Because, Incarnons require you to unlock the Steel Path and do the circuit, for example. But I'm gonna queue this up. I will be right back. You all are just gonna have to sit here and do nothing. I'll be back in a minute. I'm back. Glad to see some things with the chat never change.
Yeah.
You can start the mission whenever you're ready. We'll get inflation PNG.
What happened to the JPEG?
I don't think there ever was one. One time Sab just DM'd me showing that he got a comment from that account. He was just like, what did you do? Welcome to Cooler Kid Icefire TV. Thank you for joining. I very much appreciate it. Is it just for funsies? Well, Tau is where the majority of the sentients are. As I understand it, the Orokin kind of exploited the main, the Sol system, our solar system, for, all the resources it was worth. And so they set their sights on colonizing a new star system. They sent the sentients to terraform it for them, but the sentients found the xenoflora, which allowed them to break from their hive mind programming and become, unique individuals. So when the Orokin arrived, they did not fuck with that and engaged in a war. Ultimately, we reach a state of peace, which is this time, and then we go back to war afterwards. But currently, in Tau is the majority of the sentients, or at least a significant portion of them are there. And I imagine it also probably holds some key towards, saving Hera from the influence of Kazul. About the sun death fear. I mean, that's still in, 4 billion years, so, it's probably not a super pressing issue. Oh, he's barely not finished. Whoops. Okay. The initial conflict not caused it. I don't, with the way Roth has talked about it in his messages, I don't think so. Because it seems like a bunch of colonists just showed up and the sentients were like, whoa, 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 time out, what the fuck? What was was resources running out. It was, as far as I'm aware, it was resources running out because the Drifter mentions this in a conversation with Eleanor, I think, that the tech rot caused what's called the Radiation War in the 2000s, which destroys a lot of Earth. And that continued with, like, the Orican's own exploitation of what was left of the planet is what ultimately causes it to get abandoned for the most part.
I guess that's why there's a fucking, what's it, survival mission on there used to be a survival mission on Earth.
Honestly, banger. But I think that for, like, the reason we see, like, all the giant trees and stuff on Earth now is that after the Orican vanished, nobody was really exploiting it anymore, surprisingly enough. I'm guessing because it was so inhospitable for so long. So, the forests and everything that had become, like, adapted to the radiation grew massive. And, like, now that stuff is gone, and the Grineer are trying to take it over. Where am I going? Where? Who? What the... This mode's like, fucking waypoint system sucks so much ass. In Vanguard, I've been using Titania a lot because she can target the Hunhutless, and she's very good for it. But honestly, she's good for all of them. Right. People to keep plants alive. I mean, I feel like it makes sense in the context of both, because, like, Nightcap is trying to stop Neff from destroying the ecosystem to build his, like, fucking fallout shelter, and New Loka wants to protect the Silver Grove because they believe it to be of holy significance. That and the Grineer are literally destroying Earth again, which is not something we want. Can I pick up the damn thing? Thank you. Why am I linking to the fucking... Why does the game do this to me? Don't deserve to be alive. I feel like a lot of, like, the regular Corpus crewmen probably are just kind of, like, there because they have to be, but the Corpus higher-ups certainly don't deserve to have any grace afforded to them. Not destroying Earth equals woke. True. Gonna run into every single wall on my way into this place.
That's just me right now, guys.
Disgusting burn it. They weren't burning it. They actually still saved it at the end of the quest. I think it was the Grineer that were burning it. They wanted to destroy it because they were afraid of it. Even though New Loka was like, man, we were racist all this time for nothing? Okay, who put this computer here, by the way? Smartest Grineer. Smartest Vat Rat. Got the Xenoflora and current day. I assume that there's going to be some explanation for that, yeah.
Imagine we go back and they're peaceful again, and it's just like, fuck.
Oh, god damn it. Well, I mean, they invaded the Origin system, so I doubt that. Because the war was over, and they were just chilling in Tau, and they came back. They didn't even bother trying to rescue Hun Hao.
I mean, like, you did proclaim him as, you know, some space Hitler, so I mean...
The Sentients were being led. The second in command of the Sentient army under Ballast was his own son, and he did not bother trying to go get him. He was like, nah, fuck that guy.
I mean, that checks out, though.
Like, yeah, Hun Hao is, like, the sentient devourer of worlds or whatever, so we certainly wouldn't want to save him. But, like, you think the Sentients would. Where? Here we go. Magic plants and stuff that make all your robots smart. Like, I can see that as them being kind of like a Deus Ex Machina type of thing almost, where it's like, okay, this is kind of weird that they're just, like, here, but at the same time, you need some catalyst for the story, right? And I'm glad that they finally provided an explanation for, like, if the Sentients were originally built with this programming, how did they break free from it? I think the old piece acknowledges a lot of interesting lore questions, honestly. Though I still do find Margulis being alive at the time to be a bit of a problem, because I'm pretty sure that it's established that the Warframes were built after her death, which obviously isn't possible now. But maybe they did some bullshit like when they retconned the Stalker being a Tenno, by being like, oh, well, actually, we didn't explicitly say that, we just heavily implied it. I can't... Actually, you have to pick up the codes. I can't. The game's bugging and teleporting me. If you see a white marker, please pick it up. Can I even push the button on the computers? Okay, I can.
I see one. 400 meters away. Well, I'm Gauss, so I'm on it.
So there when the Warframes are being made? I guess, yeah, because the Archimedian mentions her by name. Can I pick up this one? Okay, I can. Honestly, I feel like a lot of the modern lore is kind of confusing to me in general with what was previously established. Like, primarily the Samaris lore fragments. No bees, no water. Okay, I will say, like, to that end, if you went to Earth back when life was first starting, you wouldn't really see any of that shit either. Like, if the flowers were, like, the earliest emergence of life on Parita, then I feel like it kind of makes sense you wouldn't really see much else. We also have this, like, moss stuff. So I don't think it's the only form of life, despite what Vulder says.
Maybe intelligent life, that's what I mean.
It's a flower.
I don't think a flower is intelligent.
Yeah, that's what...
I think I misunderstood the argument here.
I'm not even gonna bother. It's not even worth trying to explain. Hoping no one questions it. I completely disagree with that, because DE has not pulled that out of their ass a single time. A lot of the time, the community chalks it up to eternalism, but the game itself has not done that yet. So I kind of reject the idea that, like, oh, well, it's just because DE is using eternalism as a writing crutch. Like, not really.
Not yet, at least.
Make robots into real boys. I mean, I feel like getting hung up on the realism of something like that is just kind of fruitless in a game like Warframe. Like, how does any of this shit work? In the lore, it's certainly a better explanation than what we got for him originally, where the new war website, his alt helm, and his description all had different origins for him. Must have been the character with pride. They've never invited me into it. Warframe's creator program is invite only, and DE's never reached out to me about it. So
Because they don't want another gay creator in there.
It's entirely realistic. Well, here's the thing. Hunhao and Nata presumably were created after the old pieces events. And I imagine that there's some other thing that allowed them to break from it, but that we're just not aware of yet. I think that there's still plenty of questions that have time to be answered. That multiple timelines exist. Yeah, and the Drifter and the Operator are objective proof of multiple timelines in the game's story, because they're two copies of the same person. If we lost in a failed jump in the Zeraman. This is actually explained by Roth. They rebuilt the solar rail for the jump, and a different executor led a new expeditionary team through it. So the Zeraman wasn't what made it to Tau, though it seemed like they actually repurposed a lot of Zeraman technology with the World Seeders. But to Tau, well, that's the weird thing. Lotus does say that with the whole, like, what was it, like, my father was a farmer, my mother a carpenter thing. I think that it's more of like Nata and, how do I put this? Nata and Hunhao gained their individuality or their sense of self after the events of this quest, I would imagine. My sort of theory as to what'll happen is that there's going to be some other mechanism established for the sentients maintaining their individuality, or maybe like Hunhao or someone like that who is able to maintain it becomes like the new leader of a sentient hive mind. But I guess we'll have to see what happens. So I feel like there are a lot of questions that are currently unanswered that I don't doubt will be answered in time, if that makes sense. I think assume the sun. Well, we're not presently in Tau, right? I'm assuming that, like, in the Orokin era, we were able to get to Tau because of the solar rail, and I wouldn't be surprised if when the sentients invaded, they destroyed or damaged it, especially because it is explained that the sentients are why the rail exists. The like raise the million pylons high lyric in Lullaby for the Manifold.
It's in building the solar rail, TM.
The million pylons of the rail were made up of dead sentients that sacrificed themselves to build the rail. Damn. Into Soul. I don't think we have any confirmed proof of that, but I would assume as much. From the second dream, holy shit. So I think that for like the question of how did the sentients maintain individuality, or how did the second half of the Old War happen, is a question we're just gonna have to wait for them to answer. Possibly early Orcan Empire. I'm guessing because they've already said from TennoCon that like this is the prelude to Tau as it is now and our return to it. So I imagine that a lot of it's going to focus on building out the sentients more, which is good because I feel like the new war robbed them. Yeah, these guys were the big bad of the game for like what, fucking 7 years, 8 years when that quest came out, and they got shafted for it to be Ballas. I'm glad they're finally actually getting the focus that they deserve. Dead Sentients too, yeah. Moved on to many plot points with little build-up. I feel like there are certain things that could have been approached better for sure. Like 7 cardinal sins. I could honestly see that. I've seen some theories about it. In terms of like, you know, Ballas's pride, Karish's gluttony, things like that. But I guess like with there being 7 executors, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some inspiration from that like angle. But there is a question of like who, because like Tuval, I don't know if he really easily maps onto one of the Xenoflora. That's true, but we've never really seen what they looked like prior to the Xenoflora, right? They could have had a different scheme than their current red one too. 138. I can probably get enough by doing the Vanguard missions. I think I'm going to switch to Mesa for that, just for a little bit of variety in my Chungus life. That rules over others. That'd kind of be my guess, because I feel like it's the same for me sort of like the Eidolon. We know that the fragments of the Eidolon are individual parts of a larger whole. Like the original Eidolon, whoever he was before he died, because of the Gara legend that's told by Anko explains that there was a giant sentient, like bigger than the Unum Tower, that tried to consume the Unum because it discovered that Kuva cures their sterility. Because this is actually established, weirdly enough, in one of the Samaris lore fragments. I believe, actually, it's kind of implied that Corpus were the people who originally built the Sentients, if memory serves. But the Sentients had a failsafe where if they, like, void energy would sterilize them. So my guess is when the Sentients crossed the manifold back through the void with the solar rail, it sterilized them. Those who went through it, at least. So, like, I don't think there's any hard confirmation of that, but we do know that something like that did happen, because Hunhao talks about the fact that he's been, you know, I think he refers to, like, his scarred womb or something, which, Mpreg in Warframe? Anyways, not the point. There was some Kuva origin story. It seems to have some connection to the void, but I don't know if it'll ever be, like, definitively explained. And I also think that, like...
You'll have to run this one without me, honey. I'm getting tired.
Alright, fair enough. Yeah, I feel like as well that, like, not everything needs a definitive explanation. We're not talking about my womb. I'm quoting you directly. I'm pulling up. Oh, right. Hold up. I was going to say, I casted all 3 of those, but I'm going to have fuck all energy for a second. Barely survived? I think I've been doing fairly well, Lotus. I find that kind of rude, frankly. That was a private message. It's in the quest! They bud like fungus, you know, perhaps.
I need so many fucking Servoids, and you get so little.
Yeah, I only have a decent amount because of the fact that I've been playing the game mode a shit ton. Because, like, I've mentioned this already, but, like, I feel like it's important for me as a content creator, if I'm going to give my opinion about this stuff, I want to make sure I give it, like, a fair go. So I'm really trying to grind out all of the artifacts before I give, like, a more definitive stance on all of them. Because I feel like, even though the grind is currently fucking egregious, and I'm torturing myself by trying to get them all, I feel like it's important... Okay, what? Ooh, fucking dumbass waypoint again. I feel like it's important that I don't, like, talk shit about a system that I don't have a good grasp on the mechanics of. So much existential horror. Actually, yeah, I think that the whole, like, operators can be trapped in their Warframe with some special radiation was a really interesting angle. I think it also kind of explains the commandeered Warframes a little bit, where Galeria has the line where it's like, what happened to their operators can happen to you too. Kind of, like, implies to me that, they did that to them. But I honestly expected a lot, like, because of the fact that that was, like, a big part of the website. I thought it was going to be a way bigger part of the quest. But... weirdly enough, it wasn't. Hamster list to their face? You know, perhaps. I can't. I mean, they still ultimately do, and it's established in the thing, like, in the website, that the radiation seals you in your Warframe permanently if you're affected by it, which obviously isn't what happened to the operator. As Rel? Yeah, I'm guessing that that was how Rel sealed himself into his Warframe, but if I remember correctly from Chains of Terror, that was like a deliberate thing he did on purpose, because he knew he was going to die, because, you know, his physical body could only last for so long. Surprised it didn't? Yeah, I'm a little surprised it didn't come off. You can't lead through the frame in the fight. I mean, that's true, but I still feel like if it was the radiation story element, like, you would be stuck in the frame for good. Okay. Of course Ember is just gonna fucking bomb me. Could be immune to the effect. I don't know. Our operator's a special snowflake for so many reasons in the story at this point that, like... Infinite plot armor generator. It allows you to die with the frame. I don't feel like that's what the story said. Like, I can see the interpretation, but... I don't feel like that was ever, like, expressly the angle that was taken. Oh, wait, this is clear minefield. I thought it was to destroy the dropships for whatever reason. Oh, well, shit. This is going to take longer now because I set one off. Set two off, apparently. The fuck? Dude, I cannot see these fucking things. Oh, they're not even in here anymore. Okay, hold up. I can just set one off, so I can just fucking run through here like a lunatic until one triggers. That works. Insane level of plot armor. I mean, yeah, but again, I don't feel like it's been used that way yet. Controlled by non-1002. It's already established in the Sacrifice that kind of thing is possible. It's also established, I guess, in the Silver Grove that with certain technology, non-10 can use transference. But... I have the Grattler on? I certainly hope I do. You fucking piece of shit. I have Fortis. Maybe this will work? It's so variable in lore, yeah. You can fall from space and then watch a mag get killed by a Conculus in a cutscene. It's like, what? Yeah, Grattler's way better for this. Essentially transference. Well, you transfer, like... Transference is, like, connecting your consciousness generally temporarily. Like, it can be, the connection can be interrupted or cut off, I guess. Not always, because, you know, the, Sylvana, or whatever her name was, the Silver Grove scientist, became stuck in the tree permanently. But I love how the game likes to just spawn codes all the way over there. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Yeah, it seems like the Tenno are the ones who are much more capable of using transference, whereas normal people, there can be pretty devastating side effects.
Progress stops. New access codes needed.
I don't know. The game still has a lot of, like, the rules are always something that feel very malleable, like, especially with the release of this update, completely recontextualizing so much of how the old war actually happened. It's like anything at this point is subject to change. Like, the Stalker being retconned into not being a Tenno, I'm still 100% convinced that's what happened, by the way. Where it's like, no, he's just an insane Warframe, and it's like, in the quest, Stalker looks at his hands after seeing the operator, and Hunhouse says something to the effect of, like, you question, am I one of those wretched things, but you already know the answer. And it's like, you can kind of argue now, in retrospect, oh, maybe it's more like, oh, he realized that he's a Warframe. But, like, I don't see it that way. I feel like the original implication was that he was a Tenno himself, and that they went back on that. Parvos did not die yet. My question, or my sort of theory with Protea being here is that Parvos was commissioned to produce Proteas for the Empire, for the war. Youch. And controlling them. I know the Drifter does establish in a Kim conversation that when he connects to a Warframe, like, remnants of the person they were are still part of it. Like, I actually had a fan theory I had talked about on my streams before, that animation sets were lingering muscle memory of whoever became the Warframe, and the Drifter actually confirmed that by saying that, like, that is, like, whenever he controls a Warframe, that's why he, like, those things occur, I guess. Based on the existing Prime? I mean, presumably, yeah, but you'd think he would give himself the best possible if it was his bodyguard. I guess, again, it's not entirely clear. Like, this game has some lore that even it just, like, Lampshade's not making sense. Like, the entire Revenant Prime trailer being like, what the actual fuck? How is this guy here? And they just kind of don't acknowledge it beyond that. It's like, huh, that's weird. And Ballas is, like, molding about it the entire time. Not to be in full production. I'm guessing that, like, he was, like, some kind of prototype. I'm not really sure. Yeah, considering that Revenant's lore is that he was a different frame and became Revenant after the Eidolon, like, dragged him down, it doesn't really make a ton of sense. What's Valkyr Prime's lore again? I'm pretty sure that, Ballas designed a Warframe based on things like Rage, because, like, the Orokin had forgotten, their primal instincts. I know it was, similar for Necros, that the inspiration for Ballas to make him was that the Orokin had forgotten their fear of death, but he realized it could still be a valuable tool against those who could still die. Ike was like this the whole time. I don't really know where the lore of that shakes out, but I said Warframe story is confusing and incredibly malleable. That up until this point, we had thought we had known how the old war even happened, and then we find out that in the middle of it, there was some kind of peace that then went back into full-on war. And of course, it's Ballas' fault, because he's the root of all fucking evil in this game. I still wish they would have focused instead on the other Executor that was helping. God damn it, I didn't mean to do that finish. That's a huge time waste. Design Vauban to be French? Good question. Through his draft notes. Like, where the fuck? Did I write this down? Who is this guy? What have they done, like, half this thing's health and damage already? Who is shooting it? What the actual fuck? This is like some Skuldra level of bullshit with how far they're shooting my objective. Ballas is in the files? True. Release the Anyo files. Your favorite loadout? I mean, for this particular game mode, it's probably Titania, but I don't have, like, a specific favorite loadout, like, overall. the lore of the actual Warframes. Yeah, I think it's also interesting to have like the Drifter and the Operator, like the whole like two sides of the same coin, where they deal with very different traumas. Like, you know, for the Drifter, it's a lot of familial trauma, and then trauma surrounding him being stuck in Duviri and like losing touch with himself. Where for the Operator, it's, you know, going through the war and struggling with the fact that they forgot it all when they were put in the second dream. This objective sucks so much ass. Please make there be a way to speed it up. Why is this an objective? I could have potentially made it to the next rotation if it wasn't for this actual bullshit objective. This time at least, yeah. To blow up the reactor? Yeah, I imagine that Ballas is like involved in that too. I feel like at this point, even after his death, every couple of years, DE's just like bring him back. Like they did it with the Warden, and now this. It's like, yeah, just go get Ballas. Yeah, not even worth trying to do the next one, I don't think. I don't think there's really any objective that'll be fast enough, unless it's the drop ship one, and even then, I've only got 15 seconds to actually get there, so... I like how this cave just has lighting issues constantly. Okay, yeah, there's no way I could even do this in time. Does it haunt them? I think that, like, they haven't... I don't know, honestly. Feels to me, at least. I kind of disagree, because he already came back in Duviri. Doesn't mean the frames start as primes. We already know that it depends. Varzia even has a line that mentions it by saying that some frames started as a prime while others were primed later. And I think Rebecca confirmed that on a prime time as well. Not all frames started as primes, but some of them, the primes were the original. It's very inconsistent. And seemingly by design, so they don't have to explain it. I think it was honestly just the trailer for the Game Awards thing.
These memories, you have restored dignity to the dead.
Okay, we should be done with both the bridges and the hypercores now, so it's just the Ascaris. Dude, this shit sucks. This shit sucks. How long have I been live for? 2 hours, and I just now finished the hypercores.
Let's fucking go.
We're not primed to begin with. Yeah, it's like, I think it's just so that they can just do whatever they want with it. If Wally manifest into Ballas, it will reveal that Ballas was the man in the wall the whole time or some bullshit. I wouldn't even put it past this fucking game, dude.
Began the recovery of your past. Now you must go further, no matter the cost. Remembering will be dangerous, but forgetting risks the loss of everything.
Whatever you say, Lotus. Remembering will be dangerous. I'm actually Ballas in a wig? God damn it. I should have known, Hun Hao. I should have fucking known. My goat cretin turned out to be Ballas. Worst timeline. Everyone is Ballas. Margulis, actually Ballas. The Lotus, Ballas. The operator, the player, is Ballas. Longer than all 5 combined for a single one. I'm gonna be honest. I think 6 hours per weapon doesn't sound bad. It's kind of a crazy take by itself. Nothing in this game, I feel like, ever warrants a grind that long. Especially considering how many parts we need. Especially because, like, I've already built all the weapons from this mode. Like, way, way earlier than I even finished one weapon. I've maxed out almost all the arcanes already, too. Any of them I've ever played. Has anyone here played the game Realm of the Mad God? I've never played a game that disrespects my time more. Oriel and Pazul. I mean, we can hope, but Only a tiny bit. Realm is an MMO with the worst concept you could ever attach to it. Realm of the Mad God is an MMO where there's permadeath, so you can lose everything you grinded for. Shit idea. The gameplay is super fun. I like Realm for its gameplay. I can't recommend it for anything else. I don't know. I really do hope that they nerf the grind for the Tauron strikes, because for how, like, you guys might have noticed as I've been using Xeneric, I'm not even using my fucking Tauron strike. Unlike with Vazarin, where I feel like it was actually helpful enough to do so, with Xeneric, I don't give a shit. The entire Tauron system in like 2 hours. You already have to grind focus and stuff, so like, okay, I feel like this is kind of like a black and white like fallacy. It's not that the Tauron grind has to take 30 hours or 2, right? There can be some variance there. If it was like 2 hours a weapon for 10 hours in total, I feel like that would be a lot more reasonable than 25 to 30. Dallas had its permadeath for Realm of the Mad God. And actually getting the weapons, honestly, yeah, I think for a lot of people that will be like the outcome. Because it takes, like, I think I mentioned this already, I believe it takes 10.5 million focus-ish to max a focus school and unbind all of its waybounds. Maxing a Tauron strike takes another 5.5 million focus. To skip it? Well, here's the funny thing about that. You can only buy the Platinum Bundle once. The Platinum Bundle to skip the grind is once per account. So you can't even do that more than one time. And also, yeah, that does not consider maxing out the skill tree or even getting the resources for it. It's pretty rough out here. Other than grinding Eidolons. I feel like it makes sense that that's their thing, but I don't know. I personally like Eidolons. I should probably like dust off my Eidolon setup, because I'm gonna want the shards once I hit the point where my focus cast isn't doing it for me anymore. Is this? No, this isn't a Warframe one, okay. Into actually upgrading it. I mean, you don't, do you have to like craft it? I guess not, yeah, but with how long it takes to farm, fuck, you might as well have to. Making hunting in pubs toxic. I will say that, like, this is true, but I also feel like if you're able to optimize a solo strategy, you can still do them fairly efficiently. Needed a bit. I feel like for me, I would drop them quite a bit. I would make it go from like 150 of each resource to like at least 100. Or sorry, at most 100. I also think that skill paths should give 50% more resources, but so instead of 10 at base, it should be 15 at base, plus 2 per objective instead of 1 per objective. My idiot chudling son, the Tektolyst, on his quest to get himself killed. Why did I get this? Dude, look at how far he has to fucking travel, too. This particular room is so bad for this. Okay, I just can't deal with that Bullcore other than just doing this. So, Occam's Razor, I guess. I hate this objective so much. Babysitting the fucking idiot Tektolyst. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna use the strike on this guy just to actually use it. Fully upgraded, by the way. Fully upgraded. Fully upgraded. I think he was casting an ability, so he had damage reduction, but fully upgraded, by the way. That was unbelievably depressing. Holy shit. And then I just nuke him with my normal Warframe ability that doesn't have a 5-year cooldown. Yeah, like I said, I feel like the Vazarin one is the best that I have because it doesn't do shit like that. Any strikes that are good for damage? In my experience thus far, not really. It does not require 4,000 kills. If you have no focus orbs, it does require 4,000 kills. If you have focus orbs, it is much faster. But if you don't, then it does. Then again, it's kind of, I feel like, unfair to act like it takes 4,000 kills when it's so easy to circumvent that requirement. But yeah. Are insane, though. Well, we don't even have hard numbers on what the buffs are. Like, we know that it's cast speed, strength, and duration, but who knows by how much. And using your abilities will cause you to shed pages. Hold on, let me grab my Corvus again. It's not going to be great, but it'll be better. Did I not break it? No, I did. Okay. Did you make a forum post about it? About what? I don't think that forum posts will do much. That vehicle. AoEs can hit multiple weak points at once, so yeah, they're very strong. I currently have on a glaive. I don't know if that'd be very... I guess I could probably use the glaive heavy attack, now that you mentioned that.
I'm probably gonna have to... I'm probably gonna go. I'll see you lot around.
Alright, yeah, say goodbye to Nitro, everyone. Activate this. Protesting the grind in front of your local Wendy's. Maybe that would be effective. That's a good idea. Piece of shit. Hit the button, hit the button. The way she delivers that line feels so awkward to me. Maybe that's just a me thing. That specific line from Galastra is just weird to me. Well, my goal is to try and get to at least 9, and we made it there, so that's good. As an Exalted. I've seen a lot of people suggest being able to wield the weapon, but I feel like that would require too big of an overhaul to the system to be realistic. I don't know. We'll see what they do with it. I certainly hope it doesn't take us till the Echoes update for this shit to be fixed. I doubt it will, but... So, like, why? I haven't used it yet. I imagine it's like the Vazarin one where it's more utility-oriented, but I'll have to see. Unairu is probably going to be the one I unlock last. I think that it would be, But I think that, like... I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Trying to play this game mode and, like, look at my chat is actually giving me a headache. Because I have to concentrate so much. You know what? Yeah, we're just abandoning that train of thought. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. It's already gone. Is Galastra dead? Well, she blew up in the World Seeder, so presumably. Just that these memories take place, obviously, when she was still alive. I don't know, we'll have to see what happens. I feel like with the amount of community discussion about it, the strikes will receive some kind of improvement. For me, the question is when and how? Or is Karita that already? I'm guessing that there probably will be, but we'll have to see. I think DE's a little scared of open worlds after the backlash that happened with Deimos. Gotta move on. I just want to get the next fucking artifact, and then I can begin the awful grind for the last one. Deimos had backlash? At the time, yes. People said that they were, like, tired of the open world formula and were mad we got another one. You know, I guess people haven't, like, Deimos was, what, 2020, so it makes sense that there were people who weren't playing at the time. But yeah, a lot of people actually did not like Deimos. Torch this guy real quick. If he wouldn't get stuck down to rock. There we go. Alright, that's decent. meta playing Warframe. I think for them it was like just like I honestly like the open worlds, all of them, but I understand the perspective. I think that people just kind of like bully DE out of continuing to do it. I think the open world formula works great in this game, and that like places like the plains are very fun, but a decent amount of the wider community doesn't seem to agree with that sentiment, at least not to the extent that I do. Just 7 different palaces. I really hope we get more expansion of them because of the fact like that they have significance. Can you kill the... Where did he... Fuck you. I do really like the mechanic that they can like return to seek revenge. I think that is really sick. This phase can fuck right off. Having to fight all 6 of them I think is super cringe. Because it's super hard to know what's happening. Like, Ash could be channeling Bladestorm, which will insta-kill me if I'm within line of sight of him. Where is Ash? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not self-resing. I think this phase has no place in this fight. Having to fight all 6 felt like a haphazard way to like make this more difficult, and I don't think it works. No quad. I actually like to keep on the 7 scaffold, specifically to destroy Tricarian spears through walls. Oh, yep, I'm dead. See, I couldn't see him. I didn't know where Ash was, and he one-shot me for it. Dude, this phase of this fight is so bad. Maybe I gotta play someone like Hildren just so I can survive it. As Noko. Well, I mean, Noko is fucking insane, so I guess go figure, but... Like, I've been playing Hildren a lot already. I spent the entire grind for the last piece as her.
Wants you to doubt yourself, but you have triumphed today.
Yeah, if you're fighting with other people, they're not a threat. He's with Dante? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They have low visibility. Honestly, I wish they were smaller. Weird take. Them being like twice the size of a Warframe is weird to me, and I don't like it. What's my Ascaris Primes at? 50? Ugh. Fuck, dude. Fucking hell. Welp. Rough shit for real. Time to do this mission 7 or 8 more times. With each run taking a minimum of 12 minutes. Not have abilities there. Yeah, it's the same with like trying to build galvanized stacks on your weapons. It's pretty tricky if you don't walk in the fight with them already. Where is the... Oh, it's down here. It's like, what the hell? I do like that we reuse the Zeraman turrets for this. The Mazuka being here is fun. Whoop. Misinput? What? It's 5 a.m. Damn, that's fucked up. I feel like at this point I might actually have to stop the stream before too long because trying to read the chat and play this mode is giving me a headache. It's hard to split my attention. Where the operation begins. The operation, we already know, doesn't require you to play the game mode. Weirdly enough, the blog post they posted about it, the operation allows you to just play any mission. It's really weird. And also, I'm already burnt out. This needs to be resolved immediately, because I'd seen several other critty cats, and so I just made mine even more generic. not wanting to play this game again until the end of next year. For me, like I said, a lot of it is just the fact that I make videos about this game, and I want to make sure that if I give people an opinion on something or explain something, I know how it actually works. So I'm doing this fucking horseshit awful grind that I'm honestly shocked they haven't made any changes to yet. Because I want to be sure that if I give people information or an opinion, it's something that is accurate. I don't recommend, like, honestly, after you get your first Tauron strike, I don't recommend getting any more right now. It's probably best to just wait for changes. Because holy shit, dude, it is rough. Like, the mode is fun, but I think my biggest issue with it, weirdly enough, is that you have to play it with a really efficiency, like, oriented mindset, right? You have to be fast. You have to constantly keep moving. And it's frustrating when you lose out on currency because of some bullshit, like you getting all of the slow objectives, or having a prime Warframe spawn and just immediately teleport somewhere else, and now you can't kill them fast enough to progress the objective quickly. But yeah, I feel like it's not really worth farming more than your first one at this point. If you want to buy one with the bundle, honestly, probably worth it for the fucking time save. But... oh no, how frightening. Fuck you, Ember. I don't give a fuck. Get out of here. Sorry, I used the word fuck twice in, you know, a short span. I'm being written by VOD as we speak. I don't really use energy on. Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, I think I'm going to go for the hammer last, but I do think it has a lot of potential to be one of the better ones. I just want to do Matter-Eye so I can do Eidolons more efficiently. That's the main objective. Alright, I'm out of this house. Hey, fuckers, Vizzy Kid here. Ballas wrote Vivzy Pop. God damn it. It all goes back to Ballas, dude. It all goes back to Ballas. I think, honestly, at this point, after this mission, I might just hang out for a bit before ending the stream. Much shorter than my streams have been. But, like, reading the chat and playing this, my head actually is starting to hurt. Like, a lot. It is too much for me to try and concentrate on at the same time. Normally, Warframe is a nice game to stream because I don't have to focus on what I'm doing. Outside of some, like, specific circumstances. But this, nah, I gotta pay attention, and it's rough. William Afton? Yeah, pretty much. Doesn't have an overclocked brain. I hardly have a brain to begin with. I mean, I make Warframe videos. I don't know what you'd expect. We can enjoy the game. Not what I'm suggesting. Eidolon stream tomorrow. That'd be even worse. I would get an even bigger headache trying to do Eidolons at the same time as streaming. I like MR18. That's kind of surprising. I feel like Eidolons aren't a big enough piece of content anymore for that to be like a huge issue, but maybe that's just my perspective. 200 meters apart. Yeah, public Eidolons are not great. For a lot of reasons. 5 years ago. I guess that's fair, because that would have been before arcane shops and stuff were commonplace. Warframe in a day again tomorrow? No. That stream, I think, had lasting effects on my health. You see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the stream and then do these missions while listening to, like, drama videos. That's going to be my, my slot for the evening. I say it's 5:17 a.m. Dude, holy fuck, why is this thing so far away? This is another point of RNG that I hate about this mode sometimes. If you get something like 850 meters away, tough shit, guess you're walking. Like, I don't feel like objectives should be allowed to spawn that far away. That seems really excessive. During a neighborhood electrical outage explosion? I have no idea. I have no fucking clue what happened when that happened. I heard a boom outside my apartment, my power went out for a little bit, and then it came back like nothing ever happened. The running around I have to do, that's fair. I'm mostly just playing Mesa to be efficient. Unfortunately, when you're grinding something that takes this long, you really have to squeeze the efficiency out of it. If you're going to be in this mission for 5 or 6 hours, it's better to err on the side of 5 as opposed to 6. Grim reality. That's all I gotta say. Grim fucking reality. Of individual personalities? I would honestly say probably not. My interpretation was that the amalgams were like being controlled by the Ropalolist in some capacity, but I don't know. You guys remember when they teased the Ropalolist being a railjack enemy because they showed like a big army of them? Yeah, that didn't happen either. To power them up, true. It gives them like it gives them really strong opinions about football. They become huge fans of like the Giants or something, and that's what makes them so angry. Probably controls them. I mean, at that point in the story, I don't know if you would. Then again, Valis is the root of all evil in this fucking game, so who knows? 150 meters. Ooh. This grind is so fucking egregious, dude. Oh, I hate it. I could just wait. In fact, I actually probably should just wait. But I'm committed. I'm committing to the bit. Okay, no, I don't want to lock on to that. I have, like, the blue filter. It's like if Breaking Bad went to Canada. Folly already. Well, the story arc only really, like, picked up in 2023, I feel like. With Whispers. And then again, the Sentients were the big bad for, like, almost a decade. So, I don't know. I understand the fatigue, but I feel like we're kind of just in this position now. From the ARG stream. I have no idea. I haven't honestly checked. They probably have, but... Another waiting phase. Makes this thing frame so busted. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, hell. Are back to being the big bad, in a sense. I don't know why I even bothered picking that up. Hey, it's a Mesa on Mesa violence. He's just camping, so I guess I'm gonna have to hit the button first. Die, 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 die. We're good. Might be able to get 1, maybe 2 more in, depending. Again, very much depending on the objective. At this point, the missions are blurring together. I don't even remember which ones I've done and which ones I haven't done yet. This one's kind of slow. I probably won't be able to do more than this, but we'll see. No, no, I want to... God damn it! I want to pick up the fucking battery! Yeah, I definitely am not going to do more than this one. Is there a limit? A hard limit? No, but with the amount of time you have, it's not realistic to do more than a certain amount. The highest I've seen anyone report they've reached is 14. The highest I've personally reached is 13. Now that the missions more. I honestly just feel like there shouldn't be any waiting heavy objectives, honestly. I think that's like the big 750 meters. This also shouldn't happen. I'm not even gonna make it in time to see what the fucking objective is at this rate. I think they should spawn within like 300 meters of you, like guaranteed. Why can this happen? Yeah, I'm not even gonna make it there in time, I don't think. Just to see what it even is. Nope. Okay, nope. Shuttle uplink. I couldn't have done it anyways. Of 15 rounds done duo? Damn. That's probably like the theoretical limit, honestly. Considering all the waiting objectives, I don't see anyone getting higher than that, but...
The nightmares below the surface. You must remember how you were forced to fight commandeered Prime Warframe.
I've already been fighting the Prime Warframes, but whatever you say. Dude, Mesa just gets fucking fried. Now to struggle when they all show up again. Hi, Ember. Go, go, go! Take them all down! Open fire! Okay, we're good. Mini Prime packs? I think that would be cool, but I don't think it'll ever happen.
It wants you to
Minus
protect
Net audio?
yourself,
Damn.
but you have triumphed
A choice?
today.
It's bad. I got a new mod? Maximum amp energy. I didn't realize I didn't have that yet. I've done so many of these that I thought I would have had them all by now. 26. That's honestly pretty good luck. That means that when I killed, of the like 4 Prime frames, I killed 3 of them, gave me Ascaris Primes. Did you buy the Soul Frame Founders? No. YouTube is my job currently. Like, I can't afford that shit. How in the world do you have so much energy? It's the Zenuric initiative buff whenever you complete an objective. It gives really weird diminishing returns. For like the Tauron orb thing is the way to run these. She's definitely very good for it. I've also had a lot of luck on Hildren and Titania. I've also heard a lot of people say that Noko is very, very good, and that doesn't surprise me. DE won't come to you with Founders. DE doesn't know I exist. I don't have a partnership or anything with them. I check my email from time to time. Hell, I'll check it right now. A lot of the time, I shit you not, what's in my email is partnerships, like sponsorship opportunities with, yeah, look, all right now. Do you want to get sponsored by Eldorado.gg? Do you... Working with Raycon to line up potential sponsorships. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. Comes to 16.7. What the fuck? Yeah, like... It's all, like, weird products that I don't trust. Temu several times for some reason. Just fucking bullshit like that, right? Bullshit like that. But it is slightly buggy. Yeah, it's still kind of fucky, but... Here, let's go hang out with Wally for a bit. I feel like I'm gonna probably start winding the stream down. Because, this shit's killing me.
Now get out there and
RMT, yeah, go figure. They've been sending me a lot of emails, so I guess that's to be expected. Yeah, we can hang out. We'll talk for just about stuff, TM, for a bit. And then I'll wind this down, because my head is fucking killing me. Trying to play that mode and read my chat is giving me mental issues, even worse. The steel path, hell yeah. Well, if we could, this will be our lurker moment. If I could get some high Wallies, just to let me know that you're here and that you're alive, if you've just been lurking, go ahead and greet Wally. It's the tradition on the stream whenever we visit Wally that he gets some kind of greeting. Holy Gleams. True. Is 28.3. Go figure they fucked it up. Your next planet video. I appreciate it. They're kind of on an indefinite hold, but I'm proud of the ones that I made for the most part, I guess. Yeah, I had some preliminary work done for the Earth episode of the Astronomy of Warframe, but for the eye torture skin, no. By far. The problem is that no one cares about them outside of like a small group of people. And I don't know, like, because of the fact that YouTube is like my income source, I have to make sure I make videos that take me a small enough amount of time that if they fail, it's not the end of the world. Because if you are making something like the Astronomy of Warframe or the 1999 ARG video that takes weeks of research and writing and editing and all of that stuff, and then it flops, like both of those videos did, it's just not worth it, unfortunately. I enjoyed making those videos. I actually have considered releasing an updated version of the Venus video and expanding on it with a couple of things, actually. I wanted to expand it on it with both the Valis Undermined content, because they added a lot of stuff that adds context to the wider, especially with, like, confirming that the rest of Venus is still on fire, right? Just explicitly with one of the mushroom descriptions. But I also wanted to just, like, rework Warframe Geographic 2's script into a section for that video. But my idea was to basically, like, re-release it, fix some editing problems in it, and do, like, a 2.0 version. But no one's gonna want to watch it, so it's probably not even worth the expenditure, because I'd be adding, like, a half hour of content to it at least, right? And, I don't feel like it would be worth the time. At this point, everything I make, my goal is for it to be 20 minutes or less, because typically that's a manageable workload, and if it fails, then it's not the end of the world. Need another iceberg? People have asked for one for a long time, but I just don't really want to do it. And, like, I enjoy making the longer, more in-depth videos, but I don't really feel like I don't feel like I'm at liberty to right now. Because, like I said, if I put all my eggs in one basket, like I did with the ARG video, and a video flops, then it's just like, it's over. So it's like, nope, we can't do that. I'm trying to keep an upload cadence of once a week. And like I said, I'm trying to make sure that if something fails, then it's not going to, you know, sink me financially, right? That's kind of the current situation. Viewer iceberg, yeah, the Grattler Gang iceberg, the Cool Kids Stream iceberg. Oh, fucking hell. The Neptune incident would be pretty high on the iceberg, I imagine. Swap a V2 model? Probably not. I think I would lose a lot of viewership for that. Warframe comparison rant video. Yeah, it's performed interestingly. It has an insane amount of comments for how many views it has, but they're not as negative as I expected. The video does have a lot more dislikes than normal. It's a 95% like ratio versus the typical 98, which is a big difference, right? That's like 1 in every 50-ish people versus 1 in every like 20-ish people, if memory serves. So like it's a big difference, or 1 in every 25, I guess. But it's to be expected. And a lot of the comments that I have seen that are negative are just arguing with the fucking title, because people on YouTube are dipshits. I will say this again. If you are going to comment on a YouTube video, please, for the love of God, finish the video first. Is Balefire buffed by Pistol Arcanes? Yes, it is. But, because, like, there was someone else in a comment that was like, Warframe should be compared, but you should only compare them in the context of specific jobs. And I'm like, wow, there's a section for that at the end of the video. Why'd you leave, like... This comment is completely worthless, because this is a part of my argument at the end of the video. I also made a comment without watching. That motherfucker, dude. I should have known. I should have known. Overframe approved A tiers. True. Don't judge a book by its cover. I mean, that's what happened to Nova Umbral, right? I think a lot of the people who critiqued his Corvex video was just because they read the title and got pissed. Didn't even fucking watch it. without watching. God damn it. I think it's funny because, like, Rosie, when I send her a lot of my videos as, like, an early watch so she can tell me if there's any major mistakes that I made. And she commented on the video as soon as it dropped, 38 seconds in, and I already disagree. And it's, like, real as fuck. Because I had just posted that shit, like, a minute before she left that comment. Until the video is complete. I mean, streams are different, obviously, but... like, I think if you have a question or a thought gets brought up and you don't know if the video will address it, my suggestion is type it in the comment box, but don't submit it until you've finished the video. Because that's just, like... that's how a lot of that stuff works out, right? Is people will leave comments on things without watching it, and then it perpetuates this just, like, really toxic behavior. I feel like I talk about Nova on every stream at this point, because I genuinely feel like he got done so dirty, but he did not deserve what happened to him. I have 170 dropped frames. Is the stream about to die? Not going up, but I haven't really looked at the metric in a while. Now, this is the first brony? Holy shit. Video essays. So I actually had an idea for a topic that would have been basically that long. I was talking with someone several years ago who was new to the game, and they were like, I want to pursue a specific Warframe, but I don't know who to go after. So I went through, like, a basic rundown of a bunch of different Warframes that they didn't own. Like, my first question was, okay, who looks fun? And then from there, it was, okay, here's what these Warframes do based on, like, the ones that you picked for aesthetics, right? And they told me, like, well, why don't you just make a video about this? And I thought about it, and I'm like, like a how to play every Warframe video would actually probably be a fairly useful resource for new players to know, like, okay, where do you get this frame? How do they work? What are the general stats you want? That kind of thing, right? But I realized that, like, there are 63 fucking Warframes in this game. If I spent just 5 minutes on each of them, that is still an absurd amount of time. So it's like, not only would it be an insane time sink, but it would also take, like, if it performed poorly, that's the end of my fucking channel, right? So I thought about what if I broke it up into a series of videos where it's like a small bite-sized info about each frame. But I feel like that's something where there's so much, like, competition for it. I feel like they would perform completely, like, terribly. Especially because there's a lot of people in the YouTube space who do stuff like that already much better than me. Like, people who are really dedicated to one frame. Like, for example, Sci-Fi with Limbo, or Professor Disto with Vauban, Rowan with Mag, right? Like, those YouTubers, I couldn't make a guide in their presence, right? Theirs are way better than I could ever make. Do many things. So I do have access to YouTube Shorts, but I personally refuse to upload them. I don't like Shorts as a format. I don't feel like they get an audience that I would actually want, because I like to make, like, I like to elaborate on my stuff, right? I like to be drawn out and verbose in a sense. And I don't want to, I feel restricted by the short duration of them, but I also want to make sure that, like, I don't attract an audience that can't watch my longer stuff and is, like, their attention span is too fried, right? Algorithmically. But here's the thing with Shorts viewers. Shorts viewers don't watch longer content. I've seen channels with hundreds of thousands of subscribers who make a longer video that gets less views than mine, because their audience is all Shorts. I don't know. That's just kind of my thought process on it, I guess. With random slop video. You know what also sucks? YouTube does this bullshit that I hate. If you hover over a video, it will start to play it, and it will add that video to your watch history, and then your algorithm will see that and be like, oh, you watched this video, so here's other videos like that. On your phone, if you stop scrolling, it will start to play a video automatically. So I have, like, my recommendations have just been randomly fried by some bullshit I didn't want to watch, but I stopped scrolling on my phone and it started playing, and then YouTube put it in my watch history. What happened? Nova's channel is now for Pokemon, and he took down all of his Warframe videos. But yeah, it's some bullshit. I probably should go and disable it. I've really gone looking for the setting, but honestly, TikTok was catastrophic for social media. The amount of dog shit that other platforms have added to be more like TikTok is just destroying me, dude. Barely know what happened. I've recounted it a few times. I don't really know if it's worth doing again. Shiro Nature posted a video explaining what happened with Nova Umbral. I'd recommend just watching that. I feel like it's probably a better way to get your fill on the situation, especially because Shiro and Nova are pretty good friends. Is still banned, just not being enforced? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the lack of enforcement for the ban is actually technically illegal, but if you live in the United States, man, crime is legal at this point, dude. I will refrain from getting political again, but it's as Coffeezilla would say, crime is legal. The Warframe Reddit community? Sometimes? Dude, I always hate the Warframe Reddit community. I am the Warframe subreddit's #1 op. Fuck those people. Who want me to pay attention? Yeah, literally. But it's every day, indeed. YouTube's new streaming layout is blocking dickandnuts.com. This is so cringe. The slot pit. I also feel like it's a good way to gauge that like a lot of people don't know what the fuck they're doing. I wonder if the game's been getting review bombed, actually. Let me look. Recent reviews are 90% positive. Okay, so not as bad as I would have expected. There's been some negative review activity, but it's not like Veilbreaker. Veilbreaker, this game got massively review bombed. I don't know if anyone here remembers that shit, but it's the one of April Fool's video. That could be funny. So there's that. I don't go on Reddit. So it was over Wukong getting nerfed. Veilbreaker, when Veilbreaker released, the ammo changes it made were extremely controversial. It's funny because the subreddit was actually very happy with it. It was something they had been asking for. But Wukong and the AoE nerfs caused a lot of the more casual, disconnected community to get super mad. And in particular, it was a lot of the community from the Asian regions, from what I heard, that for like them, like meta slot maxing high efficiency play is like really big on the Asian servers, from what I've been told. And so when those nerfs happened to Wukong and the Zoom and Boom meta, yeah, the game got massively review bombed. Backlash, and yeah, that's fair. I'm kind of going on a side tangent, but it's called Asia. Well, I mean, like, if I just say Asia, there are certain areas that I feel like you probably wouldn't think of as being included in that, but I mean, you know, fair enough. Like, I also would say, like, yeah, the North American region, I could just say North America. It's, I don't know why I'm getting hung up on this. It's fucking semantics. You know what I mean. It doesn't matter. That's why it was bombed. Now, it is funny. I actually remember saying, I was told by a few people, like, watch the Chinese players accuse DE of being racist when Wukong gets nerfed. And I was like, dude, that's ridiculous. No, that's actually what happened. If you read the negative reviews, quite a few of them accuse DE of being racist for nerfing Wukong, which is actually the dumbest shit I've ever read. I don't even know how you do the mental gymnastics to arrive at that. We get any grind done. That's what I've heard, but I can't confirm that. The pangolin controversy? Dude, the pangolin guy, I think, was like one dude who was just a fucking moron. The pangolin thing, reading that actually kind of made me mad. I'm like, how are you this stupid? Oh my god. I don't know if the chat doesn't know I can talk about the pangolin thing. It was like one guy in a forum comment that bewildered me so much, but that would be suspect. Maybe? It should disable all of them. I'm like, okay, just to see them whine more. You know, based. Also, other arcanes don't make you invincible except for Aegis, so... Okay, I can explain this real quick. So this was about Titania Prime Access, which released during COVID. That's very important for this. So, also, this was not like a widespread opinion. This was one dude who left an insane comment that I thought was funny. So, early on, when COVID happened, there were a lot of theories for where it came from, or more specifically, how it jumped to humans. And one of the theories was that it came to humans from pangolins, the animal. So DE released Titania Prime Access, which contained Corinth Prime and Pangolin Prime, and a guy left a multi-paragraph comment about how them releasing Pangolin Prime during COVID was a racist dog whistle. I didn't even know people thought it came from pangolins. I had to look that shit up when I read that guy's comment, because I had not heard a single person say it before or since. It was like a fringe idea for how it even could have happened in the first place. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? What? You're not even grasping at straws? There are no straws to grasp at this point. You are making shit up to get angry at. I thought it was bats. I'm pretty sure that's still the current understanding. And like, this was very early on in the COVID outbreak, so we didn't really have a ton of, like, set-in-stone ideas. But, like I was told by Latum on the last stream that apparently someone talked about how there were less operator face options after the rework, and a guy on the Reddit post commented DEI feature. And it's like, dude, you're just making shit up to get mad at. How the fuck is this a DEI feature, you idiot? Some people I genuinely think just love to be angry. I don't get it, but some people just love to be angry, and I don't understand why you would want to live your life that way, but those people suck, and I hate them. DEI? True. It was entirely a joke. It was, from what I was told, it didn't seem like it, but if it wasn't a DEI, if the DEI feature wasn't a joke, then dumbass comment. If it was, then I guess I don't expect Redditors to understand sarcasm, but doing a biochem PhD at the time, so like, yeah, I assume that, like, that makes sense. Want to rage against to distract them. It's been that way, I feel like, on the internet forever, right? You just, like, pick a target and then get mad at them for basically nothing. Another 14 Parita in your server? Damn. They're popping off. Yeah, I don't know. Go see the Destiny community. The Destiny community is dying for a lot of reasons. I honestly don't even keep up with them anymore. It's funny, too, because it reminds me with, like, the Nightmare Frame thing. I assume you all here are familiar with Nightmare Frame's glyph being removed from the game because of some comments he made regarding Temple being non-binary. They weren't even super egregious at face value, but they were still pretty bad. In terms of, like, I don't have to use this character's preferred pronouns because they're not real, so it doesn't matter, which I feel like is such a slimy way to go about it. Like, oh, well, it's okay because they're fictional. Like, okay, why don't you disrespect the pronouns of anyone else? Why just the non-binary person? It's because I feel like you're normalizing that behavior. That's just my opinion, but I feel like the whole, it doesn't matter because it's a fictional character is a weak argument when you don't do that to literally anyone else. Besides the point. When Nightmare got their glyph removed, and then repeatedly doubled down on it with other things, right? Like after Asmongold backed him up, which that's fucking pathetic. I feel like that. Like if Asmongold is on your side, you should be like, oh shit, I'm in the wrong. Anyways, I thought it was funny because in Nightmare's video, he was like, yeah, the Redditors got mad at me, and so they took my glyph out of the game, and it's like, Nightmare. The proto-frames in general were largely designed by Liger. Liger is non-binary. You can find that on their art station. Temple was also primarily made by Kaz. Kaz is the game's weapon lead, and they are also non-binary. You can also find this on their Twitter account, if memory serves. It took me 5 minutes to figure this out. Like, they pissed... Nightmare framed with the whole, like, well, we pissed off the Reddit alphabet people. Nightmare... The people that you're disrespecting made the fucking character you're talking about. It's like... I don't know. It's so disingenuous to me to be like, nobody actually cares about this. DE's just being performative because the Redditors got mad. Like, no. 2 of the people that had a direct hand in the creation of this character are non-binary, and I'm pretty sure Kaz even said in an interview that, like, their experiences as a person who's non-binary went into the development of the character. If memory serves, that was something that was brought up in an interview when they talked to them on a... It was either like Reddit or some tabloid thing, I don't remember. But it's like, DE's not being performative. The people you're shit-talking made the fucking character. Did the most damage? Honestly, yeah. Especially because like a lot of the comments on Nightmare's videos for a time were like, I stand with you. And it's like, these people don't give a fuck about Warframe or your channel. They just see you as like a beacon for their own prejudiced ideas. I don't know. And I know that like some people might see me as getting political if I were to talk about a subject like this, but I feel like it's kind of heinous to me that the idea of certain groups of people existing is political. Like, I don't know, like gay people, trans people, non-binary people, their existence is not a political issue. If you want to talk about like, I don't know, trans people in sports or something, like that's a political topic, and that's not what I'm talking about. These people who just exist, like, no, it's not politics to be a gay person. Or like you have people who are really far gone that's like, woman protagonist? Black person in my media? Woke? And it's like, dude, do you go to the grocery store and see a black person? And you're like, fuck, dude, Walmart's political now. I have to leave. I'm boycotting this place. Like, no, that's dumb as fuck. These groups of people do exist. You don't have to just, like, it's not political to include them in things. Do you see them in real life? Are you surrounded by only, like, white men or whatever other group you have, like, this preferential treatment towards at all times? Like, these people exist. Including them in things is not DEI because they exist in real life. It's like the thing of fucking people are like, I don't mind a gay person in media. They just should have a reason to be gay. And I'm like, dude, people don't need a reason to be gay in real life. What do you mean they need a reason to be gay? That's fucking stupid. Like, I don't know. And yeah, I'm being hyperbolic with the whole, like, do you go to Walmart thing, right? But, and don't get me wrong, there are characters that are included in media purely for political reasons, and that shit's also annoying. Like, you look at a game like Dustborn, where canceling people is a mechanic, that shit's stupid, right? Like, you can cross a line into making things explicitly political, but at the same time, you see people who, like the Starfield pronouns guy, where it's like, you know, California shit breaking my immersion. And it's like, dude, just don't pick the fucking they option. What do you mean? Just don't pick it. How is this damaging your experience this much? Same thing with, like, you guys want to know, the real thing in Starfield that should make you homophobic is the dude on the colony ship that you have to deliver messages to. That guy is annoying as fuck. If anything in Starfield is gonna radicalize you, it's that guy. The game about a fascist America, but the police go, wow, those lyrics can be offensive. Some people be careful. Some bullshit like that. What did I just join into? Me complaining, as is customary on these streams, I think. But single chroma representation. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's like a complicated topic, and like I said, I don't want to get like explicitly political. My issue is more like these groups of people exist, and I feel like seeing their inclusion in media as a statement inherently is stupid. It can be a statement, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's so commonly misconstrued as like I ain't racist, but some of the most horrific shit. That sounds horrible. I don't feel like it should be included in games. I think, like I said, for me, it's a matter of, like, these people do exist, and simply having them in media isn't inherently making a statement or unrealistic, right? Like, Temple being non-binary is basically never a part of their character or ever even really acknowledged, other than the pronoun being used. I think that's kind of the, like I said, I can see friction if a character is used to make an expressly political statement. But, and I also will say, like, if you don't understand it, I don't feel like that's a fair argument for something not having a place. Because there are plenty of things that one doesn't understand, right? But that doesn't mean they have no place in anything. If you don't understand people being non-binary or transgender or anything like that, I think that's actually something where it makes sense on some level that you wouldn't understand that, especially if you don't line up. Like, I don't personally understand what it's like to be transgender, because I'm not trans. I don't know anything about that, really, on any, like, personal level, but I can grasp it on a conceptual level, if that makes sense. So I feel like not understanding it actually is something that does make sense on some level, but I also feel like that doesn't mean that because you don't understand it, there isn't a place for it, if that makes sense. That's just kind of my perspective on it, though. Like I said, there's plenty of things I don't understand, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist or aren't, like, realities of the world. And I feel like to exclude something from really any kind of media because you don't personally understand it is a bit of a... I don't know. My personal perspective on that is that I feel like it's not a fair reason to exclude something. Now, if you were making a piece of media, like, let me just, like, I guess to kind of put the shoe on the other foot, right? If you're making a piece of media, it might actually be better to not include the things you don't understand, because then you're running the risk of including them in a way that's offensive or doesn't represent them well, right? So, like, I feel like if you were to make a piece of media, it would probably be better to ensure that things you include are things that you can include in a manner that makes sense. But maybe that's just my perspective. So thank you for the 50 crowns, LAU. Hi, Wally. Glad to see that you know the protocol. You've been around for long enough. Sorry, I'm getting on my, I don't mean to get on my soapbox. I feel like I'm kind of derailing things quite a bit. But like I said, I still feel like, the Temple thing in particular bothers me, because like I said, the two people who had, like, the biggest hand in making Temple, are non-binary, and I feel like Nightmare's whole, like, we made the Reddit alphabet people mad angle was really disingenuous. But, and again, I just feel like including certain groups in video games isn't itself a political statement, because those groups exist in real life. You can definitely leverage them in a certain way to make it feel like they're being included to make a political statement. Like I mentioned with Dustborn, that game, dude, right-wing grifters ruined the word woke, because if there was ever a time to call a game woke, it was Dustborn. But, gotta break the grind somehow? Yeah, pretty much. Thoughts on Tauron Strike, which they'd explain a bit more about how it works. I went over this earlier in the stream. My issues with the Tauron Strike is that I feel like they're way too difficult to grind. They don't provide a ton of value for how long they take to charge, and a bunch of stuff isn't explained well in terms of, like, the actual hard numbers. Those are my three major issues with them. What goes on in the real world. I mean, ultimately, if you're going to make a piece of art, it's shaped by your experiences, right? And you can't make a piece of art devoid from human experience. I mean, AI can try to do that, but it fails, so that's besides the point. So, like, yeah, I think that naturally, I think a lot of it is, like, people use video games as a reprieve from reality, even if their, like, stories are shaped by things that could really happen or do really happen. They're not happening, and so the gravity of what's occurring isn't real, I guess, where it doesn't remind you of how things are in the real world. Like, I feel like some people, you know, they play a video game that has, like, really strong messaging about a topical event, and it bothers them because they're using media as a way to escape the stress of that topical event, and then, you know, it's being brought back to the forefront. Maybe that's just, like, a warped view of it, but, like, I've actually known people who have put down video games because it just reminds them of, like, things that bother them too much, and I think that that's a fair perspective. Improves upon Tauron Strike. I completely agree. I feel like the Tauron Strikes currently are really weak. I hope that they make some significant overhauls to them before they go on holiday break. They've got some time too, so I'm hopeful that, like, next week we'll get some decent changes to them. But we'll have to see what happens, right? Like, for me right now, the biggest hang-up with this update, all of my complaints really orbit the Tauron Strike system in some way. It doesn't feel great. Yeah, Nidri, the Vazarin staff, is the only one I actually like right now. I mean, people were watching and saw when I hit Caliban with the fucking book, and it took, like, 5% of his health. That depends on what game you're playing. Yeah, I think it depends on the person on some levels, right? Art is the way you experience art is ultimately subjective. But I think that, the Tauron strikes, a lot of the damage ones I've used, particularly Lorak and Vexoric, I think it is, the sword, feel really weak. And their lingering effects don't feel well explained, and they go away super fast. Like, I like basically everything else about the update. I think that the new game modes are both very fun. I think all the new arcanes have been very good. I liked the quest. I think Uriel is fun. I've enjoyed all the new weapons for the most part. All of my hang-ups revolve around Tauron strikes. Just players can't play it because the grind is a lot. I feel like with the amount of community backlash, I expect them to do a few things at least. The one is worth is just a hammer and knee tree. So I think it depends, because my recommendation would be pick the Tauron strike for the focus school you play the most. And the reason for that is because it lets you mod your operator, which is huge. So like, for the strike itself, my favorite currently is Nidri. I don't have the Unairu hammer yet, so I can't make a comment on it, but I like the Vazarin one a lot. But I think the number one thing that should determine if you buy a strike is what focus school do you use the most, because the passive benefits of the mods are hugely helpful. Actually makes no sense. I think that Persistence is a niche arcane that certainly has a place, but I think people have hyped it up a lot. Since I started playing the game a year ago, I do think that Ascendi has a lot of fun. I agree with you there. I use the most, and that's how I would recommend it. Fully revive dead players even in EDA. Actually, that's pretty good to know. You get insta-gibbed? Damn. The demand for endo hurt? That's fair. It is pretty expensive. Clears rooms? Nice. The staff for Nidri is actually kind of similar. Its initial slam does a lot of damage, and then everyone near it shares 50% damage across each other, which is really helpful. Would have more than just 21. I do kind of wish that it was an endless mode, honestly. Can't hit thousands of armor. Like, yeah, you can use stuff like Guardian to help supplement that. Like, Guardian alone can cross the threshold, but your immortality being that reliant on conditionals is probably a bad thing. I don't know. I still feel like when it comes to the health tanking thing, I don't think the problem is that health tanking is bad. I still think it's that damage scaling is too high. Getting the EDA treatment. Honestly, I hope that we don't get more Archimedias. I don't really like them. I've gotten, like, I'm so fatigued with the random mechanics at this point. Sometimes I want to log in and just play a specific Warframe, right? And then when I have to do an Archimedia and I don't get to pick who I want to play, it just kind of sucks. So my hope, honestly, is just that they don't release more. I would love for them to overhaul Archimedia so that it would have more of a difficulty system like Synthetic or Destiny, where you can pick modifiers to increase the bar, and harder modifiers give you more progress, while easier ones give you less progress. So you have, like, a bunch of options you can choose from. If that makes sense. I think that would be cool. If instead of, like, the random loadouts, you just have a bunch of modifiers you can pick from, and harder ones are more punishing and give you more progress, while the easier ones are less punishing and give you less progress. Like, say, Transference Distortion's like a tier 3 and gives you, like, 4 points, and then, like, Dull Blades is a tier 1 and gives you 1 point, right? Something like that. Send it to you in DMs. If you want to, feel free. Just to give any real survivability. I think it depends on the frame. If they have a built-in damage reduction, it's not really necessary, but it also depends on the level of content you're doing. So, like, I see where you're coming from there. What is Transference Distortion? It's a modifier for EDA and ETA that you can't use your operator, and I genuinely think it is the most oppressive modifier in the entire game. Like, so much so that I do not think it should exist. I think it is incredibly overpowered as a modifier, or incredibly heavy-handed is the word I'm looking for. Being locked out of your operator, like, 11 hours in this movement is insane. Yeah, that's one of the things you'll have to get used to. It is a lot of fun, though, once you get good at it. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know, EDA and ET I think would be better if they were a modifier focus. Thank you for the 50 gift memberships, Black Film, or Black Flim. Now I have to ask what country you're from, because I'm always curious when people gift memberships how much it costs them. But congrats to everyone who gets one. That'll probably run for a while. Phoenix got another gift membership. This is so fucked up. You guys think Wisp will get one this time? 50 euros? Damn, that's way too much money. Thank you, though. I very much appreciate it. Usually, there's a meme on this stream that Argentinian people keep gifting me 100 memberships for like $3 US, because that keeps happening. Well, thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. And congrats to everyone who's receiving one. I normally try to read them out, but with 50, dude, I'm not going to have enough time. Gray or never pray. Yeah, stay gray. Stay gray. Ah, fuck, dude. I need to make another dev commentary video or production commentary video. I haven't done one in ages. I should probably make that, because tomorrow my plan is to write the augment video. I was going to do that today, but my sleep schedule is so fucked up that it didn't really work out. But I want to write the augment video. Maybe I could do that as like a detour from that. Automatically less viable. I feel like, I don't know if I'd say they're better than Valkyrie, because she gets such an insane amount of DR from her armor. It's basically a DR ability for her, kind of like Oberon, but I get where you're coming from. I feel like adaptation is kind of the main thing for me. If you're a health tank, you kind of have to use it. Severe casualties. Yeah, the gray army is falling. I don't know how much that really affects your payout. If you gift me a membership, the money I get is 70% of the value you put in per membership. So, like, if I get a gift membership, thank you for the gift membership as well, Snickeros? We'll say it like that. But, so, like, if you spend €1 and I receive, I'll receive, 7/10 of €1, right? Or if you pay $1, I'll receive 70 cents. So, it is dependent on the currency. When, like, the Argentinian people gift 100 memberships, I legit make, like, $3. It is dependent on the local currency. YouTube does not have, like, any guarantee for me in terms of what I'll actually get a payout. Peak clicker in the background, Peak Gaming. For $7. Yeah, I lowered the price to the lowest it could go. So, for a regional currency, it should be the lowest possible for the gift memberships. Dodged? Yeah, everyone who's... Sound off if you're still gray. Sound off in the chat if you're still gray. If you survived the slaughter at the terminus. Is hilarious. I mean, low-key it is. Yeah, sound off if you're gray. Still gray? Yeah, I survived. People who do not fall victim to the Gray Massacre. 6 Czar is crazy. Oh, God. Should we not do it? You're still welcome to. The membership thing, I don't really, like, get super focused on the amount of money it makes me. I do need to release more members-only content. I've been fucking slacking. The last one was the making... Yeah, DE still doesn't understand Overguard, I think, because that was the one before the Nightmare Frame reaction. Dodge this wave of gifts? I don't know how to tell you this. Didn't survive. Didn't survive. But... yeah, I guess I'll probably work on writing the augment video, and then maybe I'll release like a dev commentary or a production commentary for like Is DR Dead? I don't think I've done Is DR Dead yet. That's an interesting video. I honestly think Is DR Dead is one of the most important videos I've ever made from an education perspective, because I feel like a lot of people didn't understand how the system worked. I mean, at large, people still don't, and that's to be expected. But I think it was important to release that video to explain that mechanic for people. What happened to the wall running? It's gotten delayed till next year. They're having some issues implementing it, it sounds like. They should come back. Personally, I don't think Raid should return. And my argument for that is pretty simple. I don't think there should be any content in this game you can't solo. And, raids, if you can solo them, they're a bad raid. I feel like one of the biggest issues for games like Destiny is that you need people to complete the endgame content. And I think that, strength for Warframe is that you don't ever need a person to finish anything in this game. I think if we were to do like a dungeon-style mission that have more advanced mechanics but are still soloable, I'd be down for something like that. But for a full-on raid, I just don't think it would work. That's just kind of my opinion on it, though. I know that I'm in the minority with that. Also, is DR dead now? I still don't think so, personally. I enjoy it. I think that it's a cool idea, but I don't really ever play it. Only give Argon crystals and titles. That'd be kind of funny. Yeah, like, I think it was the last time I was told, like, my friend Phoenix was pretty into Destiny for many years. Not really after Edge of Fate, so I don't know how recent this would be now. But they told me that a player survey or some such found that 70% of players had never completed a raid. Think about that. 70% had never completed a single raid. That doesn't even count people who have only done, like, 1 or 2 raids and don't do them regularly because they don't have the friends to do so. 70% had never done a single raid. And that's like one of the game's premier forms of endgame content. And I think that for me, that's like a kind of exemplary of the problem, is that like if you're to have raids in a game that require a dedicated group, finding that group is going to filter a lot of people out of that content. Hell, people hate Eidolons because that happens already. Never did a raid. Yeah, and like I said, if you don't like, dude, LFG raids suck. That's the worst part. Doing a raid with random people is horrible. It is not fun at all. What were Warframe's raids like? They were kind of weird, to be honest with you. I only remember stuff about the Law of Retribution. I'm pretty sure Hijack was a part of it for some reason, but... For Crota and Oryx? Yeah, fair enough. I will say as well, like, again, I think that if there was a solo version of a raid, then it's not a good raid. Because I feel like raids should require teamwork if they're to be good. With less bugs. I still feel like... Hate on... Coney, I don't even know what you're talking about. Can't solo them, that's kind of a skill issue. I think it's also like a gear issue. A lot of people probably just don't even have the gear to do them, and that's why they struggle. It's a little bit tricky to get your foot in the door with that. Where would you put dungeons if they even existed? I would think that they would probably make sense as, like... I don't know, like special endgame content like the Archimedes are, where they're tied to the place that they're... like, the content they came with. No time I've ever run it. Yeah, that's what I feel as well with, like, I did VOW with my friends. I have a lot of fond memories of Garden of Salvation with my friends. But any public raid I've done was always dog shit. It was kind of shit. I think that, if my memory serves, the Jordis verdict required a lot of Arcwing, which wasn't great. Best endgame content. Well, at least you can take what you want into them. Like, I would love game modes that are more mechanically involved. I don't know how well they'd work in Warframe, but I like, or like boss fights that are more mechanically involved. I'd be down for that 100%. Like I said earlier, with my like Neptune overhaul concept that I've been working on, the boss I want to introduce is mostly a parkour boss. And I think ideas like that would be a lot of fun, but I don't think we're moving in that direction. Bosses are getting better. Generally, they're having more significant telegraphed attacks. Like, I think the Tektolyst is actually a really cool boss. But I feel like, I don't know, I'd like to see stuff that's more mechanical and less gear-oriented in terms of, like, okay, you know, you have to do parkour through this area or something like that. Wait, are they 1999? They accidentally revealed the year they're really from. But, and yeah, earlier than 1899, I could see it. It does kind of feel that way, I guess. 1899 was the turn of the millennium, and, you know, that was when, like, the Wild West was ending and shit like that, right? So, it's really good. I actually do really like all the bosses they introduced in Alloyed Collective. Cool Kid doesn't know him. You're shocked? Shit, are you a sans dog? In the cathedral, though? Yeah, electricity, was electricity commonplace at that time? I don't feel like it would have been. Would have been sick. I'm still a firm believer in the idea that, Ash and Ember need to get proto-frames, but gender swapped. Because for those who don't know, Ash was originally going to be female, and Ember was originally going to be male. I think having frames of them that are gender swapped would be awesome. Is it dressed in Kim? I believe so, yeah, because I know Roth talks about it as well. One shot this boss so I can't quick grind its drops. That's kind of the paradox of a game like Warframe, actually. This is something that could honestly be a video in and of itself, like the boss paradox. But if you make a boss that's engaging to fight and has interesting mechanics, it will naturally take time because you're fighting the boss. And that makes people mad, because then it makes grinding the boss harder. But if you don't have anything to grind from the boss, then there's no reason to do it. So you have to find some kind of balance there, I imagine. Would start off Nightmare Frame and Co. again, though. Honestly, get bent? I don't know. It's like the hop on Discord and turns into a girl. Yeah, deadass. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just rambling about shit. We've been here for, what, an hour longer than I said I would, as is always the case with these. I don't know why anyone watches me talk about this shit. I feel like it's really boring as fuck. My Baja Blast is empty. This time, I'm really gonna do it. For boss stage. I think that's also part of, like, if it's too rewarding, then you won't fight the boss for very long. I could see that, though. Like, having different boss stages. Or, honestly, as well, like, maybe there would be, like, a hard mode version of a boss for more drops. So you get a lot of neat rewards all at once from the boss. I think that could work. Also, thank you for the 5 gift subs of Vibin' with Brayden. Congrats to everyone who has received one. African-American spy? Oh, okay. Maybe that guy getting access to the members-only content is alarming. If he's a spy, who's he selling that to? That's kind of concerning. Get rewards once per week? That could work. The stack arcanes. I actually think that's part of, like, a benefit to, like, the fragmented, for example, is that you can do it. Oh, the fucking emojis. Banger. Woke spy. Holy shit. I don't know. I'm running out of things to say. I'm losing my fucking mind over here. I have a fucking, like, 3-inch thick stack of napkins on my desk. I don't know why I have these. Voikisser emote is peak. I need to add more emotes. I feel like all the stuff my member suggested I didn't really like. But we've got, like, this one, right? We got a lot of cool stuff. I think YouTube just destroyed all of them. Huh. Well, that's unfortunate. Either that or my UI is just bugging out. Interesting concepts, even if restrictive. Yeah, I can see the idea, though. Welcome to Cool Kid, Coney. Thank you for joining. Of its parts to reach internal weak points. Yeah, that was kind of my idea with, like I mentioned earlier, the supercomputer boss fight idea I had, where, like, to fight the computer, you'd have to parkour through these different areas to reach 3 shield generators that are protecting it. So you'd have to, like, work your way into, like, the guts of the system and, you know, dodge lasers and all that kind of shit. Lost another few good soldiers. Grim. A stack of napkins. Dude, I got hella napkins at my desk. I have, like, 3-inch. Okay, that's deceptively edited. I will sue you. I will sue you. Was so unnecessary. 1000% agree. I really hope they revert it. That thing is such a fucking bullet sponge now. I get it for the Hunhullus, right? Fuck the Tektolyst getting more HP. Would be a great boss in Warframe. Honestly, I could see that. Use your own Giga Giant mech to fight him? That would be peak. Fragments of the original, that'd be neat. Honestly, it could be cool if there was, like, you could use the refractory to, like, go through other memories, like the original Garas. That could be neat. All the knockdown sim in AoE. I think that solo, it's terrible. In a group, I've heard it's not that bad, but solo, it's fucking rough. Strangely connected rooms in space. I think that's kind of a lot of the tile sets. Like, there are times on the Zeramin where you can look out a window, and it looks like there should... like, that there's nothing out the window when there should be a room there according to the map. Shit like that happens all the time, and it annoys me. See memories of Gara's sex with the Unum? No, we are not bringing back the Gunum, okay? Thank you for the gift membership, Coney. Who's to receive it? It's being a little slow. It's really searching through the archives right now. Implying my chat didn't just die. Okay, no. Someone has been cursed with the green virus. Gunum mentioned. Dude, that's gonna be at, like, low on the stream iceberg as well. Into a full tile, so that could be cool. I would love to see more out of the Unum in general. Megan said in an interview that we're going to see more of it in the future, but Rebecca seemed confused by that comment, so... Jump around on the inside of a mech to help it fight another mech. That could be kind of fun. I'm so big. I'm guessing that it's not for a lore reason, but for a gameplay reason, so that they're easier to see. Honestly, though, I don't like it. I wish the primes were normal-sized. Green curses, shudders, and fear. I wonder if I could, like, spend the $1 to gift one person a membership. I probably shouldn't, but it would be funny. Holy sh... Another... Be green. Be green. Congrats to Oracle for receiving the membership. Should be Sprodling-sized. Welcome to Cool Kid. Time G37. Thank you for joining. Not just amps. Honestly, I actually think it would be cool to get more operator weapons. Do I live in gray? Yeah, the grays are still surviving for now. Hold on, let me open my own stream real quick. Let me open my own stream. Because I can't do it from the studio tab. Let's... Oh, hold on. This is the wrong account. Don't do that. Giant Boss in Black Ops 7. Work on the commandeered frames. It actually might. I guess I haven't tested that. All right. I'm gonna gift... Can I gift one membership? Yeah, one membership for 99 cents. Who will win the Cool Kid 369 official sponsored deal membership? The official brand membership. Who shall receive it? One gift membership goes to jcurry1123. Congrats on receiving your official membership. Please not me. People are so scared of becoming green, dude. It's consuming them. Every waking moment, fear of becoming green. Into a blade. I think that, like, I know they said that Drifter Melee could come back in the future. Yeah, I only get back 70% of the $1. I just gave YouTube 30 cents. That's all I really did there. Cool Kid is not on our side. Okay, Cool Kid inflation, PNG. What clued you in? What clued you into that? Please be green, it hurts. Official money laundering? Dude, I'm just losing money. Also, it'd have to be in a bank account. Like... It'd have to be in a bank account anyways. It was very hinged. I don't know if you mean unhinged or if you're trying to tell me that it was, like, well put together. Let it win. He's being converted. For a meetup thing with my mom. Well, thank you for joining, Brotato Chips 1079. Good to have you. Oh, God damn it. Shut the fuck up, email notifier. I don't care. How much you get from PLN? No idea, actually. I don't know if anyone's donated that in that currency, like, explicitly. So here's the thing. If you gift me a membership, I do not know how much I make from it. YouTube does not tell me. If you donate actual, just, like, regular donation super chat, I do see what it converts to in my currency. Pregnant man emoji. They need for their AI. True. It's like that. I saw this post where it's like, you're taking a shower? Data centers need that water, and you're taking a shower? About his wife left him. Honestly, yeah, I feel you there. Same with asking Papa at Tag for on accident. It's like, oh, god damn it. Thoughts on the Steam machine? It looks cool. Curious to see how that'll shake out. I like my Steam Deck, so I haven't used it in ages, but we'll have to see how that goes. It's got potential, I'll put it that way. We need more for AI. Exactly. Don't drink water, don't shower, don't bathe, don't, I don't know, water your lawn. Fuck all that. The AI data centers need water. Look, I live in Texas now, where there's a bunch of data centers because this state low-key, high-key actually sucks. No, you have to use all of the water for the data center. Look, people are out there trying to generate images. Donald Trump needs the AI to generate himself shitting on protesters from a plane, okay? We need to dedicate our resources to that. Quit showering, quit drinking water. Dude, there's water in your body. You're 70% water. Sacrifice yourself for the AI data center. They need it for at least just one more prompt. Just one more prompt. Also, I am not from Texas. I'm actually from Iowa, but I moved here because this is where my boyfriend lives. It's nice to live closer to him, but the state was a downgrade. Is tea still okay? That's too much water. Nope. You can only drink oil. Will get woke? True. The point is longevity. Yeah, I guess we'll kind of see how it shakes out. Only drink oil. The AI needs to generate more stuff that boomers will take without any sort of critical thought. Yeah, like, scam accounts on Facebook need to generate pictures of, like, a boy in an African village building a statue of Jesus out of Coke boxes, okay? Do not take this from them. This needs to happen so that all of the boomers underneath can comment amen. This needs to happen. Every time you drink a bottle of water, that's one "this is my birthday" AI post that can't be put on Facebook. One bottle of water equals one amen on Facebook, okay? One bottle of water equals one amen. You have to conserve the water for the amens. No, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this stream here. This will be our last lurker moment. For my final lurker moment, can I get an amen? Yeah, this will be the if you're like hanging out in the chat, haven't been saying much. Yeah, could I get an amen in the chat, please? Amen. Do not drink water, do not bathe. We need the water for AI data centers. Yeah, like this is why we need it, right? AI data centers need that water so we can have amen. Yeah, and a women. Exactly. This is why we can't do these things. This is why we can't shower. This is why we can't take baths. We can't drink water. It's all in service of these comments on Facebook. Also, yeah, my Firefox froze too for a second. A man and a women. Dude, that shit was so weird. Truly live in the goofiest timeline. Well, I've been talking for long enough that I'm starting to lose my voice again. Thank you, a huge thank you again to everyone who donated and sent any gift memberships or anything like that. It genuinely means way more than you probably will ever realize. And thank you all for watching as well. It's always fun to hang out. I just didn't realize how much of a strain it would be for me mentally to try and play this game mode and stream at the same time. So, thank you all for watching. VOD playlist is in the description. Discord's in the description. You know, feel free to stop by whenever. I'm probably going to be streaming a lot with the update coming out. But next video is probably going to be about augments. That's kind of the current plan. And then we'll kind of go from there. So, thank you all for watching. You know, amen, as always. Make sure to quit showering so that our AI overlords can generate slop. And I'll see you around.